it was a natural progression, obviously a natural reaction to go to it, but he didn't go through that baseball. So
Yep.
he let that ball short hop him and eat him up.
Which is surprising. He's been really good defensively all year long. Now, the Bulldogs put up 4 yesterday in the first inning, and the Rebels would like anything not to do it. So Ben steps in. Carter Ben's batting 258 for the year.
Squaring right here, first pitch to bunt, to sacrifice in the first inning. It tells you what it means. It tells you there's a lot of stake for the Fresno State team, and they're taking it very serious if they're going to sacrifice in the first inning after clinching last night. But I was saying about the outfield is, like, you look at a place like Fenway in Boston, you know, it's really short down the line. You look at Yankee Stadium, it's really short, so it changes the outfield dimensions. There's not enough ground. There's a ton of ground here that you have to cover as an outfield.
Well, and he squares the bunt again. It goes right back. Should go to 2. He double clutches, makes a terrible throw, and the defense that will allow Ashford to go all the way to third. That was a tailor-made double play, and the defense right now in the first inning is letting down the Rebels. That will be an error on Jabara on the throw.
Very, very, very bad play by him. The bunt was right back to the pitcher. It's a dream for what you're asking for. They want to bunt to first base because there's no one there. He bunts it right back to Jabara. In that situation, yes, I would love the double play, but really what I have to get, 1 is an out, and 2, I got the lead runner.
Yep.
He needs to shuffle and make a good throw. He didn't move his feet at all, which causes your hips to rotate not properly, and he pulled that ball. Bryson did a fantastic job of trying to stay on the base and pick it in a diving manner and motion. Couldn't do anything about it. Very, very bad throw by Jabara.
And the sad thing for the Rebels is Aruda now, the shortstop, who's batting 346, left-handed batter, steps in, takes the first one a little bit high, 1-0. And all of a sudden, this is exactly the nightmare scenario that happened yesterday.
So they gave him a hit to the first guy, which obviously I'll go ahead and disagree with. So we have basically 2 errors back-to-back that has a first and third, no outs. It's about as bad of a start as you can think when he could have had 2 outs on, 3 pitches? And it would have, like, that's how quickly the tone of a game can change. 2 outs on 3 pitches. You never know what happens to the third guy. You're feeling great. And now I got 2 guys on base, the corners with no outs. Who knows what's going to happen? All because of 2 errors.
Jabara sets in the 2-0 pitch. This one hammered out to center field. Gamble turns his back. He keeps going back, Gamble, and that is a 3-run home run. So what should have been 2 outs and the bases cleared, maybe a 1-run home run turns into a 3-run home run, and just like last night, the Rebels are going to have to come from behind if they're going to clinch a spot. 3-0 Fresno State.
So I talk a lot about the small things in baseball, and there's a lot of things about Major League Baseball that I feel we've taken a huge step backwards. This is a prime example. It's the mental focus. It's not the physical stuff, right? By Bryson Stott not committing early mentally to that play, it put him in a bad spot. Now, we can get past that because they were doing us a favor. But because we were trying to get too much, he was trying to make up for the ground ball to shortstop by trying to be a hero and get a double play and not just get the lead out. So by trying to do too much, you put yourself in a very bad spot. Now I got first and third, no outs.
And that ball will hit McCarthy Tatum. So on the first pitch, 357, and they are warning both sides. And Jabara can't believe it, but the umpire is warning both sides.
And I'll tell you right now, he didn't hit him on purpose. And I know it looks bad after a 3-run homer in the first inning. He didn't do it. Everybody, common sense lets you know that he didn't do it. The umpire's wrong in this situation. It tells me that the umpire doesn't know much about the game of baseball because of what's at stake. He never would have hit him, and he didn't hit him on purpose.
Now,
going back to you can't try to be a hero. You got to accept what's in front of you. You can't do anything about the ground ball to start the game. It's in the past. You got to just take the out and be okay with 1 out and a runner on first base. But by doing that, when the 3-hole hitter gets up, he's afraid now at this point to make the right pitches. So what does he do? He kind of gives in a little bit instead of getting aggressive and just accepting that maybe we give him the out or the run at third, but we try to prevent the 1 at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. He leaves the pitch out over, and the lefty jumped all over it.
Nolan Dempsey, the right-handed senior, will step in. He's batting 356, and this one a big swing and a miss. It was interesting. I think Mike Batesole, the head coach from Fresno State, came out and talked to home plate umpire Frank Flugret and didn't like the call either.
No, because they get warned too. So if his pitcher pitches in or hits somebody, he could be out of the game. So what's going to happen now? And if you're a hitter, you're all over this. They're not going to pitch in very often at all anymore because they're going to be afraid to hit somebody. So almost everything, we're already 2 for 2, almost everything you see will be away. So it's fantastic of this hitter right here, the 4-hole hitter of Fresno State. What did he do the very first pitch? He jumped all over that pitch and took a great swing because he knew he was getting a pitch away. So he had half the battle already done for him. And luckily for UNLV, he wasn't able to make contact, but it was a great play by him.
Dempsey fouls that bunt attempt off, amazingly enough. Now the 0-2, and this one will be fouled off 0-2. So let's reset here. Tatum at first, already 3-0 Fresno State. Two very sketchy defensive plays, one of them resulting in an error, possibly both of them should have been, and then a 3-run shot by JT Arruda. And all of a sudden the Rebels are in deep water here. Now, we've joked about it, Josh, but the Rebels are undefeated when they're on the radio this year. But this will take something. Now, it is college baseball. That one bounces away and easily down to second. In fact, standing up, Tatum. Wow. Godman actually made a good throw. And
the ball bounces in front of him, and I know he ran early. He wasn't really running on – it was more of a delay than anything else. He wasn't running on the bounce ball, but you're still in second. There's no other play. You don't ever go in standing up, ever. And I'm telling you right now, if there's a challenge flag, which we don't have here because of replay, there's a good chance he was out.
I agree. He clearly made it. That's why I said he'll easily go into second, but he tried to go a little bit too easily. Yeah. He gets in there, so now Tatum is at second, still no outs. The count 1-2 to the right-handed hitting
There's no way the
Dempsey.
Second baseman should be. The second baseman needs to stay home.
He loves to go over there. Now, that's a strikeout, so the first out of the inning, swinging strike.
You got to adjust to the game, Doug, right? So, yeah, usually we'll have him because these guys pull a little more. We see the defense in Major League Baseball. But knowing that they're not going to pitch inside no more because if he hits somebody, he's thrown out of the game,
right.
And we need his length, knowing that with the right-handed batter up, you're going to have to keep your second baseman where he is because there's going to be more balls hit that way because of the new situation that was created because he drilled somebody, the four-hole guy. And once again, let's go back to this. He didn't hit him on purpose. He didn't hit him because he gave up a 3-run homer.
No.
You can't do that in this
Wasn't
situation.
Didn't it look like an off-speed pitch, too?
It looked like something that got up underneath it. Yeah, it looked like something that faded that way.
So Emilio Nogales now is announced as the DH. Fresno State's one of those teams that always puts the pitcher in, but then you have to wait. So Nogales will step in, left-handed batter. He'll take the first one, 1-0.
So Major League Baseball, you have to have your lineup in by a certain time. You actually have to send it to Major League Baseball. You have to. Now, you may not have to post it so that, reporters and stuff don't get it. But we don't have a rule here where you have to set your lineup before the game.
No, you can do with the pitcher, with the DH. The DH can be announced at the time. I guess the one advantage is if somehow the pitcher went out and you wanted to make it so it wasn't a left-handed batter. UNLV doesn't play that. We know Jack Thomas Wold's already the DH.
You can legitimately change your lineup as the game had already started without technically changing it just because maybe, like, let's say that he did come out of the game. And I'm talking about Jabara. Let's say he did get come out of the game right away because of an injury. You could put somebody else in the game. Let's say we brought a lefty in, right?
Right.
You can put a different hitter in the game without actually losing a batter.
Correct.
Like, I think that's terrible.
I agree. That's a loophole.
It is a loophole.
I love to argue with you, Josh, but I'm not going to argue with that. No. So 3-0 now, the count, and this one will be to Stott. Should be an easier play. The runner does move across. Tatum goes to third, and that is the second out of the inning.
I'm still in awe of how this game started. We should have had a routine ground ball to short. We booted.
Inning should have been over.
It.
Really.
We had a guy giving himself up on a bunt, and he made a terrible bunt, which is a dream for the defense. Right back to the pitcher, and we pulled it. Once again, if you don't use your legs, right, then now you're just rotating. We don't do anything sideways in baseball. Everything's back and forth. So if I don't move my legs, then my hips rotate side to side. So what that's going to cause me to do is over pull the ball or leave it too far right, right? There's really hardly any in between because I didn't keep my legs moving.
So Nate Timian steps in. He brackets that one foul down the left field line. Almost got Tatum. Now, Tatum was in foul territory, so that was good base running.
He smashed that ball.
Yeah, that thing was hammered.
By not moving your legs,
0-1 the count.
It causes your hips to rotate. So his hips rotated, and he pulls the baseball towards the shortstop side. Once again, it should have been 2 outs on 3 pitches, no one on base.
And the 0-1 in their first strike, 0-2 the count, so 1 strike away. Now, if they get out of this, Josh, if you want to take the silver lining, they were down 4-0 yesterday, right? Yeah, you might as well. They might get out of here only down 3-0. Now, they did get shut out last night.
He's going to have to go back in at some point, and you know what I'm saying?
The 0-2, he kind of went in there. Max Smith, routine to right field, and that'll do it. So on some bad defense and a 3-run shot, Fresno State goes up 3-0. UNLV coming up to bat for the first time, live from Early Wilson. And welcome back. Bottom of the first in, and they are in, but UNLV is down 3. If they win this game, they're in the Mountain West tournament. They also would still have tomorrow. It is a Thursday-Friday series against Fresno State, down 3-0 here in the bottom of the first. And now we've got words between home plate umpire Frank Flugrat and head coach Mike Batesall. This whole argument is over the third baseman coming over during warm-ups, and the home plate umpire chased him away and kept the Bulldogs pitcher, Davis Moore, stopped him right as he was delivering a practice pitch, and Batesall legitimately mad because that's how pitchers can get injured.
I didn't see what happened.
The third baseman came over and was just off the mound, and the home plate umpire, as Moore was in his windup for a practice pitch, warm-up pitch, stopped him from doing that.
Because he didn't like the third baseman.
He didn't like the third baseman during a practice.
But that's where the third baseman goes, because he receives the ball at the end and he hands it to the pitcher. That's baseball. So once again, it goes back to the home plate umpire giving a warning to both sides. I told you, that tells me he doesn't know anything about the game of baseball. There's no baseball IQ. You might be able to do your job, and you might be good at your job, but you got to understand the game itself. And by him giving warnings to both sides, it puts Fresno in a very bad spot. And now he risks the pitcher getting hurt because he really doesn't understand what's going on. That's dangerous of the home plate umpire.
Well, Bryson Stott steps in. He'll take the second pitch for a strike. So it'll be Stott, Johnson, Wold, Williams, Smith, Pfeiffer, Godman, Robbins, and Gamble is the offensive showing for Coach Stan Stolte and the Rebels. So the 1-1 pitch. So through all this, we tried it. That one fouled off at the plate. The count goes 1-2. It is Davis Moore going in. Davis Moore is going in. We'll get that set up there.
We need to get
pitching.
Some base runners. We need to get some pitch counts up. We can't get it all back. We got to get one at a time, Doug. You know what I'm saying?
And this one will be the first one. Stott will hammer that one. Will it be cut off by the Timian? And Stott wisely stops up. That was a great throw by Timian. Safe going back.
That's dangerous, right? So that ball's hit to deep right field. But Bryson Stott, before the at-bat, he's got to know how far the right fielder's playing. He's playing 3-4 steps off the ball, right? So where if he's playing normal position, that might be a double. But he's so deep, he gets to cut that ball off. Bryson Stott's got to know that when he gets in the box. And plus, it's in front of him as he's rounding first. So he sees how far deep he is. That's no longer a double. He almost got himself caught too far off. So it goes back to the Orioles play last night. It goes back to the bunt play right now. If you don't put yourselves in these situations mentally ahead of time, then you failed yourself. So it becomes not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. And we talk about that so often.
So it will be Dylan Johnson now, the number 2 hitter. He's batting .322 this senior. And let's set the Fresno State Bulldogs defensively. Davis Moore, as we said, the pitcher, the junior. Carter Binns behind the plate. Jeff Jameson over in left, Zach Ashford in center, and Nate Timian in right field, who made a very strong throw coming back in. That one fouled off past Patrick Armstrong, the first base coach. Over at third, McCarthy Tatum, JT Arruda at short, Nolan Dempsey, and Zach Presno, the sophomore, at first. So that is the Fresno State Bulldogs defensively. Bryson Stott at first. He does have some speed. He's got 15 stolen bases, only been caught 4 times. Carter Binns has shown that he's got a pretty good arm. And the 1-1, that one inside.
Davis Moore's got some really good movement on a tall kid, too. A little low, not to say low 3/4, but he's 3/4, and the ball runs, obviously, what you would think to his right, into righties. Looks firm, too. There's a little something on this. He's got some great numbers as far as his win-loss. I mean, this team's won some games. His ERA's a little high, 4.56. I know he would like to have that lower.
The 2-1 pitch, and that one will be chopped, and that should be a double play. Takes a weird bounce. Stott goes into second, and he should be safe at first, and he is. So Stott is forced out at second.
So
Johnson hustling does get to first.
It's the same exact ball that was hit to Bryce in the first inning, but the shortstop in this situation, JT Arruda, he actually took a step back like we talked about, so he got the good hop, and he was okay with getting the first out, and if they turned a double play, so be it. Congrats. But he made sure, and maybe he did that because he knows what he's doing, and maybe he learned from Bryson Stott's play, right? But that's what this game's about, is you always got to be learning. You have to be evolving. You have to be paying attention so that you can progress, just in case it happens. So many things happen in this game that you couldn't possibly work on all of it, so you have to learn from possibly other teams, from other moments, on how that you can improve in case it happens to you. That's a great, looks like a routine play, and it really is a fantastic play by Arruda.
Jack Thomas Wold steps in. He'll take the first one. He'll go up the middle, but second baseman, he bobbles it, but he's able to recover. No, he tried. Dempsey tried to get it to Arruda, but it bobbled twice, so there will be an error on Fresno State, and the Rebels now have runners at first and second. Let's see if they can capitalize.
So I'll say this. That's an error on Dempsey for booting the ball, but he had a chance to make up
Yep.
and still get him out. And the flip was dropped. I don't know if it was a bad flip. I don't know why Arruda dropped it.
It looked like a good flip.
I don't even know who you possibly give the error to, but there's two. I think maybe you just give it to Dempsey in that
Second
play.
baseman, number 2, at Darian Williams.
I mean, this is a possible door opener right here. This is one of those ones where you want to take advantage of. I'm telling you, the 4.56 ERA is for a reason.
Yeah.
It's like I said, he wins because they score, but his ERA is high, so it tells me with the 74 hits in 71 innings that when he needs to get an out with 2 outs or 2 strikes, a situation like this, maybe this is his weak side. Maybe this is where he needs to get better at. Rebels need to take advantage.
Darian Williams steps in, takes the first one high, the next one in 1-1. Now, Darian was 2 with not a lot of hits yesterday. He was the one Rebel that had 2 hits yesterday, and he is 1 ball one, yeah. And like I said, I have never seen a hitter hit better with 2 strikes. He's in the hole all the time, but he's still batting well over 300, so he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. The 1-1, and this one chopped down to third. Let's see if that should be a tailor-made double play, and it is. So the Rebels unable to capitalize. We'll go to the top of second. Rebels down 3-0, live from Early Wilson. Number 8 hitter, right-hander Zach Fresno steps in the box. Cameron Jabaro. It'll be Fresno, Jameson. Then back to the top of the order is Zach Ashford. Zach Fresno comes in, the right-hander, 231. He'll take the first one just outside 1-0. And as in case you're just tuning in, it's UNLV versus Fresno State, college baseball here on Fox Sports Radio. And both pitchers have now been warned. And as you said, Josh, that takes away the inside part of the plate. The 1-0 pitch.
But that's right down the middle, too. 2-0.
That's, yeah, 2-0.
I'll say it again. The umpire behind home plate is having a bad day to start. It does take away the inside pitch, right? But what did their starting pitcher do? Davis Moore did not let it affect him.
This one will be hammered right to Bryson Stott, so a line out to short, and that is the first out of the inning.
He did not let it affect him, and when he had to make a pitch in to create the ground ball that he needed first and second to turn double play, he still went to it, right? You have to, no matter what, warning or not, risking the chance of getting thrown out or not, it does not matter. You cannot let that affect what your job is.
Jeff Jameson steps in, the left fielder, freshman, batting .205. You can see, well, if you're on radio, you can't, but this one will be right out to perfectly dished to right field. And that's a single for Jameson, and that's, one thing that the Rebels might want to look at and see how they're going to the opposite field and not trying to pull so much, and that is a single now for Jameson. Ashford up, and Jameson does have some speed. He's 3 stolen bases in 3 attempts, so we'll see what happens here. And as it's shown, even last night, up by a few runs, the Bulldogs will bunt at any time. So we'll see what Zach Ashford does here. He's batting .369, so I would be a little bit amazed.
Yeah, he's not bunting in this situation, right? But yeah, no, I mean, shoot, we already saw it the first inning. Do you see what it means?
Yeah, their number 3 hitter tried bunting, and then I think he hit a home run. This one lined out on one. Max Smith will get it quickly, and the right fielder throws it back in. So
Cameron Jabbar is. He's barely off the bump. He's on the grass. Now, if the runner even, pump fakes around second, and we got to make the throw from right field, that ball the third baseman can't vacate, right?
Right.
So if that ball gets by, 2 runs are going to score because we are upset that we gave up a hit and we're too lazy to get to our position. That might be rough on me to call him lazy, but those are the things that you can't ever overlook those things. Those are the little things, but when it's not going your way, it's easy to do. You have to get tougher in those situations.
Cameron
Mentally.
Jabbar now will face the number 2 hitter, Carter Binns. A fake throw to Darian Williams back to try to get the runner Jamison, but he wasn't that far off. So runners at first and second, 1 out. Rebels looking to turn a double play here. Carter Binns batting .258. The right-hander steps in.
That told me a lot. Like they're obviously going to be aggressive. They're used to him looking once and then going. You could tell that he's not focused on what his job is, that he's kind of all over the place with his thoughts just by the way he reacted on that play, Jabara that is. They're going to be aggressive and they're going to go. But when runners want to go, they go early. We see that quite often. He's going to have to refocus and retake control of this game.
And the first pitch is in for a strike, 0-1 the count. Now,
this is, real quick before we go, this is where he's going to have to use his holds. He's going to have to go to his 4 and 5 second holds. He's going to have to breathe and take back control of the game. If these guys are going to do that, which they have control now, they're going to go quick. They're going to go fast. They're going to go early.
Should be noted, Carter Binns a catcher, but he does have pretty good speed, so he's not, automatic double play on a slower ball. They'd have to still go pretty quickly to turn it. So that one in for a strike, 0-2, the swinging strike.
You see what that pitch was, too? It wasn't meant to be, but where it ended up in, right?
In and down. Yep.
Over. So you don't have to let the hitter know that you didn't call that in.
And the 0-2 pitch. Jabara sets and delivers, and that one bounced up. Good stop by Godman. Now, I will say that Jabara did tend to, he changed. He held the ball, I thought, a little bit longer there. So
the last 2, he did a decent job of that. These guys, Fresno State, they do a really good job on the base pass so far in this game of getting their secondaries. Like when he's delivering home, they're not standing around and getting a place, and we see that so often at so many levels of baseball, and it causes you to lose 10, 15 feet because of what a secondary gives you. The fundamentals are good with this team.
And that one, a big swing and a miss, and that was another pitch inside and down. So good pitching by Jabara there, and a strikeout, and that is the second out of the inning. So 2 on for the Bulldogs here in the second inning. They're up 3-0 over UNLV, and it'll be JT Arruda, the left-handed shortstop, coming up.
That's what's unfortunate about those 2 errors, and then he makes one bad pitch to the wrong guy, the 3-hole guy, and he jumps on it. Past that, his stuff's pretty good today. And that's, once again, it goes back to that's why you got to be mentally tough. You have to be. These 3 runs shouldn't be able to beat you. If you hold them to 3 runs in a game, you gave your team a chance to win.
Arruda takes the first pitch, and he hammers it out to left field, and there will be a play at the plate.
Let it go.
Johnson, and in time, Nate is not, so the Bulldogs score the 4th run on a RBI single, and what a game JT Arruda's having so far. 4 RBI game, and guess what? It's in the second inning.
Okay, so let's go back to this now. Pitch out over, and now a pitch out over. But since the warning, he has not thrown a ball inside on purpose yet. So yes, he did strike out the guy before on a pitch that went in, but these guys on deck and in the hole, they can see where the catcher's setting up and where he's supposed to be throwing the ball. They recognize that every pitch has been away, so what does he come up and do? He jumps on a first pitch fastball away and hits it in a perfect spot. Dylan Johnson can't cut that ball. That ball's on line. The only chance was for him to let it go.
Right-handed McCarthy Tatum steps in for a strike. He's batting .357. And runners on first and second, and now it is 4-0 here in the top of the second. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 errors for Fresno
They have
State.
a pitching coach on this team for the Rebels who's the greatest pitcher, in my opinion, in the history of baseball. He's going to have...
This one chopped down and over the head of a jumping Johnson at third, and that will bring home the 5th run on another RBI single, this time by McCarthy Tatum.
Greg Maddux is going to have to... He's going to have to put a stop to this. I don't care if it's him, Stan Stolte, I don't care. You cannot let this continue. Every pitch is away. Every pitch they're swinging first first, second pitch. They're going out and getting it because they know where the ball is going to be. He's abandoned his changeup because when you feel pressured and you have to make a pitch, you abandon the pitch that is the most successful because it doesn't feel like a power pitch. So he's abandoned his changeup and he's abandoned pitching in, and they are lighting him up because of it.
And Nolan Dempsey steps in, and boy, that was a big hack. And that's what I don't understand. I know you're limited to mound visits, but there's nobody. Exactly. It's 5-0. Go out there.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Go to bed with them? You have to use it. When the time comes, you have to nip this in the bud. He's 2 runs too many already. This is with 2 outs.
This one chopped down foul, so the count is 0-2 to Nolan Dempsey, the right-handed second senior baseman.
You can't
or second baseman senior.
You can't wait on those mound visits. When like they have to prevent this from this inning could have been prevented. You go out there and use. If I run out of mound visits by the 5th inning, but yet I held them to just those 3 runs, so be it. That's the way it has to be.
And the 0-2 to Dempsey, and that one is outside 1 and 2.
That's the reason why they scored. We just talked about that.
Right, on those singles easily.
The second run, there's nothing you can do. The ball was hit perfectly to score the run. But the first run with 2 outs, why did he score? Because their secondaries are so good. He was getting, they're reading Cameron, they're getting a great secondary, and he read it. He bought himself, an extra 2 or 3 feet.
And that's what it was at home plate.
That's what it was. The fundamentals are so important.
The 1-2, and that will be swung foul-tipped. Godman unable to hold on to it, so the count will remain 1 and 2.
Just know this, as good as that fastball in has been, I am going to throw it all day. Because that was finally intentional, and they have no chance of hitting it, Doug.
So let's see if he goes back there again, but Godman's setting up way outside. It is 1 and 2. Let's see if they waste one out here, and that one had way too much part of the plate. That one fouled off. The count remains 1 and 2.
Okay, so if we don't start to do something different, then we're going to lose this game 30-0. I'm telling you right now. You're going to have to try to nip this in the butt. I don't know if we have a back pick at first, but it might be a good time. Watch how far the runner's getting off first base. So we're not even – he's chill, and he just starts to creep, and he gets pretty far.
The 1-2, and this one is down, hugging the third base line. Easily Johnson will take it himself, but the Bulldogs put up 2 more. They lead 5-0 here, going to the bottom of the second over the Rebels. Live from Early Wilson. Bottom of the second, Fresno State on top 5-0. Max Smith steps in and takes the first one for a strike. More sets and delivers, and his second pitch a little bit low, 1-1 the count.
Man, I got so much going through my brain just watching this game, checking some scores in MLB, and it's.
And the 1-1 to Smith bounces up there. The count 2-1.
It's crazy when you get this many games in over the season. We all pattern out. We all have, who we are, and we have to make in-game adjustments. Slight, not always drastic, not always huge, but you have to do things differently.
Now Max Smith will pop that up to center field. Ashford takes a few steps in and puts that away for the first out of the bottom of the second inning.
Or situations like this, what are you going to do? If they know a lot about me, Fresno State knows a lot about UNLV, and we try to do the same things from here on out the rest of this game, they're not going to come back and win this. So now all of a sudden, everything about our game plan to start this because of what happened changes. So how I work counts now. Now there's no longer, I don't care if he throws 5 or 6 pitches to every hitter.
Austin Pfeiffer steps in. He'll swing at the first one. The right-handed freshman first baseman, batting .273, swings at the first one, 0-1 the count. Yeah.
So that's it. Maybe you have to jump first pitches now. Maybe you have to find, maybe that's the best pitch.
And that one, that was a good pitch, 0-2, right at the knees.
Everything changes when you're down 5-0 in a game like this where we're in a must-win situation over the next 2 days. Maybe we start to bunt a lot. You know what I'm saying? Hitting and running definitely comes into play.
And the 0-2 pitch, outside 1-2 the count. I'll tell you what, if Pfeiffer could bunt, he's not the fleetest of foot, but
but in these situations,
Tatum is,
now
0-2, yeah.
And they're going to give it. They're at 5. They're going to give these things early. But if that's what it takes to spark something, so be it.
The 1-2 to Pfeiffer, and that one a little bit high. Ooh, that looked good to me.
It was definitely high, but I'm saying oof because it was a hanging slider.
Yeah.
And they go a long way when you swing at them.
2-2 the count. Pfeiffer, one of the many freshmen on the team, and that one, that was not a swing that he'll be happy with. A swinging strike, but kind of a feeble swing there for the second out of the bottom of the 5th.
Kind of confused.
Sorry, bottom of the 2nd.
Hits the first pitch fastball that he took a healthy hack at.
Number 23.
Obviously, he was looking for it. He got a second pitch, same exact fastball. Then he takes a really good pitch. Then he takes a hanging slider.
Godman swings at the first one. The freshman catcher batting .225 on the year.
The hanging slider he probably should have swung at. And then he took a swing on that slider like as if, I really don't know, like, I'm trying to explain what he did and I can't figure it out, but that's my point. That's the approach that I think he took to the plate. He didn't have one.
Godman fouls that one, 0-2 the count.
What was he looking for with that swing, Doug? Because he got a slider. It was a really good pitch. It still might have been a strike, so he had to swing at it. I'm not quite sure what. I'm trying to decide if he was.
And that is a called third strike, and you can't get a much easier.
Too,
yeah.
Right? So he got a slider right over the middle of the plate that he took for strike 3. It was very similar to the swing he missed before. What were they looking for in that situation?
Well, Davis Moore makes quick work of the Rebels. We'll go to the top of the 3rd, 5-0 Fresno State over UNLV, live from Early Wilson.
Designated hitter, Emilio.
And it'll be Emilio Nogales, the DH for Fresno State, as they lead 5-0 here, top of the 3rd inning. Cameron Jabaro will make his first pitch of the 3rd, and that one is hammered out to center field for a single on the first pitch. Center fielder James Gamble gets it quickly back in, and Fresno State has the leadoff hitter on again. And make sure you can go all out when you go RVing. Make plans to see your team outscore, outshoot, and outplay at every game this season. Plan your epic RV road trip at GoRVing.com.
It's fun.
It is fun. Timian now steps in, the right fielder. He flied out his one and only at-bat to Max Smith in right field.
At this point now we have the second baseman kind of going back like we talked about earlier. And now it looks like Bryson Stott, the shortstop, is going to be covering second. I don't like that because we saw what happened when they know that Cameron Jabbar is pitching away they're actually getting out and being aggressive early, and they're pulling the ball, right? Because they have an understanding of where it's going to be. They're no longer going with it.
Right, they don't have to.
So
You're
now
right.
I want Bryson to hold. I want Bryson to stay home at shortstop.
Because they're cheating because they can't. Now he shows Bunny, pops it up. Godman puts it away. If he throws, what happened?
Why aren't we throwing it to one?
Yeah, what is going on? Oh, it hit the ground?
Did we have a replay of this?
Let-
Did you think it hit the ground, Joe? No. I thought it was popped straight up.
It was. Okay, so what's happened here is it's a strike for I have no idea what reason, but nobody's arguing. And so Nogales goes back. It is 0-2. And Josh is trying to look at the replay there. The 0-2 pitch, and that one is a swing and a miss. So a strikeout for Timian, and Cameron Jabara gets his third strikeout of the game. Now, you saw the replay. What did it look like?
Tough to see. Jeff saw it. I didn't get a good look at it from my angle, but he does think that it might have went straight down and just popped straight back up. And if they're not going to,
yeah, if nobody's arguing, then it must have.
I'm going to lose my, you know what, in that situation, especially down.
Because that would have been a double play.
Easily.
As Nogales was well off of first. So now Fresno, the first baseman, takes that for a strike. 0-1 the count.
It's unfortunate, man, but this is where experience comes into play. This is, once again, where communication comes into play. Jabara has good stuff today.
Yeah, he does.
There's no way that he should be giving up 5 runs already in this game with the stuff that he has. But it goes back to everything that we always talk about in sports.
This one is hammered down right to third baseman. That could be a double play as Johnson does throw over to Pfeiffer, and that is a Rebel double play. That'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Rebels down 5-0 to Fresno State. Grant Robbins takes the first one outside for a ball, 1-0. Bottom of the third, 5-0 Fresno State over UNLV. And Grant Robbins will take that one for a single right up the middle. So the leadoff hitter up for the Rebels.
Center fielder.
Now,
Number 1, James Gamble.
James Gamble had some really bad looking at bats last night, but he has shown me in the past that he's great at bunting to third. Now the Rebels are down by 5, but if he can bunt to first and get it in that no man's land with the first baseman Fresno holding it, he's got the speed. Look at that hole over there.
Yeah,
if he can bunt,
it's a little push bunt
it's a push bunt. And instead he fouls it off 0-1 the count.
Third baseman's playing in because he's going to take it away. He understands who he is. He's not just going to hand it to him.
Right.
But there is an option. But here's the other thing. There is a huge hole. Basically, it's like there's a half a player because the second baseman's so close to second. He's got to shoot the ball to that side.
Yeah.
He doesn't even at this moment have to bunt. He just has to go that way.
So let's see. It's 0-1. He did look like he was trying to go to right field there, but it is wide open. And the 0-1, and that one bounces. Doesn't get far enough away. Good block by Binns, the catcher, the Fresno State catcher, and Robbins has to go back. Smoking Sam's here at the ballpark, and look at those ribbon ribbon nachos down there. Some of the fans have those things.
Challenge
I-
to eat. I saw 'em over there. I thought,
They're
"Okay,
humongous."
Does this come with directions?
It does. Throw over, and Robbins pretty easily back.
This team runs. Both these teams kind of run, but I'm telling you what, like on the offensive side, Fresno State, 9 of 14, 6 of 8, 7 of 9, 5
Yeah.
of 6, 3 of 4.
They run
aggressive.
effectively.
Well, they're such an intelligent team. You can tell they're well coached.
James Gamble now 1-1 the count. And the 1-1 pitch, and he'll chop this one down. It will not be a double play as Gamble can fly. So Robbins will go to second, Gamble out at first.
Goes back to Dougie. He didn't have a plan with his at bat. He didn't get a pitch to drive, and that was kind of a check swing. It really wasn't a committed swing because he wanted to swing. He wanted to be aggressive. He wanted to, but he knew he had something to do. So he got in between of being impatient, and that's once again there's fine lines between success and failures. He knew that he shouldn't have swung at that pitch, but he wanted to do something now, so he swings at it. Luckily, it wasn't a double play.
Right.
Because of how soft it was hit, but it really was a check swing. It wasn't a committed swing.
Bryson Stott now steps in. He's 1 for 1 on the day with Robbins at second base. Takes the first one in for a strike.
Some good heavy sinkers by both guys today.
Yeah,
Pitchers.
Davis Moore right now, his pitch count's right around 30. So he's been effective. That second inning, bottom of the second was one of the fastest. Top of the third was fast, too. Let's see what we do here on an 0-1. Stott will look at that one, and it is now 0-2.
So he threw that changeup right off the fastball in the exact same spot. And it finished in the exact same spot as far as the height, the location. But the difference was, 7, 8 feet on it getting there. Nothing you can do with those pitches. Bryson's got to take those, right? What are you going to do? You're going to roll over. So he lives to see a potential mistake.
And that one way outside, 1-2 the count. Stott batting 365. If you follow UNLV Baseball on Twitter, you can vote for, they have links to, and I actually retweeted it too, you can vote for the Spikes Award for Bryson Stott, see if he can move on to the next round.
Is that the Golden Spikes? That's the
Correct.
Of the year.
Yeah.
Cool thing.
1-2 the count. And the 1-2 pitch, and that one misses outside 2-2.
Same exact pitches he called for strike 1, strike 2. I'm telling you, the location was perfect. Crazy game.
Shadows starting to come across, unlike last night where the wind was howling to the outfield. There's not even a zephyr, I wouldn't say, out here right now. So it is very nice out here.
I don't think I'm switching from that location. I think I'm staying there.
2-2, and he comes inside. The right fielder took a step in. Timian now goes back, makes the catch. Robbins will go to third and advance. And what an arm, but it was hit far enough that Robbins pretty easily into third, but still.
Hold on a second, Dougie. Hold on a second.
Okay, we're waiting.
Nate,
Timian.
28, Timian, hit 228 is average. I'm telling you right now, that's one of those throws. If there's scouts in the stands, I got something to show you.
And there are a few.
And that'll wake you up. You got to look at his average, see what his offense, because we live in an offensive game. But I'll tell you what, if he's on the bubble being drafted, if he's a 20th round draft pick, whatever he is, you see a throw like that, he jumps up 5 rounds. He jumps up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That puts him
And he's
on-
only a sophomore, so
that
he's still
was
got a little bit more
something
time.
else on that throw right there.
Dylan Johnson takes the first one for a ball, a little bit low, 1-0.
He was a couple steps off the warning track. He one hops the third baseman to his chest. Throw was on a line. That was a great.
And I'll say this about Timian, too. He had to go back on the ball. It wasn't like he was setting up. He was running back and threw that. That's what makes that much more impressive. And this one will be ground. We'll get through. Arudu cannot get it, and that will be the first run for the Rebels. So Robbins scores.
It's a big deal. That's a 2-out run in the third inning. That puts you down 1 swing of the bat now. And I'll tell you, I'm not taking nothing away from Arudu. He's played a good game so far today. Looked a little bit complacent on that play,
Yep.
right? It didn't look like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it didn't. I felt like there could have been a little bit more. Maybe.
Now, that is a hit. They did give him a hit, and I think so, yeah. Because even if he'd have gotten it, I don't think he would have thrown
He had to turn in a
Johnson out.
360 and try to make a throw was going to be tough.
Jack Thomas Wold takes the first one a little bit low. Now, Jack Thomas Wold, last night he had batting gloves on. Tonight he's back to what we're more used to seeing, no batting gloves.
So that play by Aruda, like he kind of went towards center field. On that play, if you want to make it, you actually got to stay on the dirt and come towards the infield.
Big swing and miss, 1-1. That was a great pitch.
And those are the instincts. That's just from playing baseball for a long time and seeing multiple ground balls and taking a lot of ground balls at practice and stuff, knowing whether you're going to have that one step go towards the outfield or you're going to take that one step towards the infield and then obviously you're going to spin and stay low and try to make the throw. That's also comes from learning your runner. So if you got a slow runner, I can take the outfield step. If I got a burner, then I got to take the infield step as well. I just thought that he got a little bit tall as he went down to get that ball. Big play.
And this one is chopped, and that'll be a single to right field. Johnson just has to go to second base as Timian. He's displayed his arm. I don't think anybody's going to be running on that arm.
Do you see what happens, right? So he showed us his arm on a throw to third base where he didn't have to. But what did he do? He showed us one of the best arms I've seen in a long time. And what does that do to the third base coach, Higgins?
Second baseman.
It makes him think twice about sending somebody now.
Williams.
So we're going to see some holdups just because of a throw that he made to show us what he has. Two options. Keep it a secret, Dougie, or you show it off so they don't ever run on you. I like what he chose to do.
Darian Williams steps in, and he'll take the first pitch outside, 1-0 the count. Darian hit into that double play that kind of killed the potential rally in the first inning.
That was a big at bat. That was a big
That was.
by Davis. But you see how good his changeup's been? How good he's thrown that changeup off of his sinker, Davis Moore?
And this one is out to right field. Should be pretty easy for Timian. Now there's that sun out there, but he'll put it away. But the Rebels do score one. They pull within 4, 5-1. We'll go to the top of the fourth. Live from Early Wilson, Fresno State, up on top of UNLV. Top of the fourth, 5-1, Fresno State on top of UNLV. The left fielder, Jeff Jamison, will step in against Cameron Jabara in the first pitch. Jabara, and that is a good pitch. That's the location where he's been getting Fresno State to swing and miss. 0-1 the count.
That's it right there. You got to stay there. Once again, you turn into a reliever after the first inning, and you got to keep the game where it is. You got to get past everything else. We didn't do it, but we're not that far out of this game in a 5-1 game, getting one back in the fourth inning, right? So we hold this team to 5. You chip away one at a time. The Rebels can win this game.
Well, yeah, we've seen it. It's college baseball. I mean, there can be. It's 0-2 the count.
Mental breakdowns,
no,
right? We can't have any more of those. We had enough.
You're on the edge. You can't give up anything more. That one misses 1-2 the count. There is some great news. There's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could save 15% or more on car insurance. The 1-2 pitch, and that one is down to third baseman. Johnson has to barehand it. He gets it over and makes the strong throw to Pfeiffer for the first out of the inning. There's some good defense.
Put that ball right on the money, too. Nice play. Yeah, that, like I said, those are the excitements. Those are the things, right? You guys scored a run. You come back on defense, make a good play, hopefully have a quick inning, get it back on the bench, and see if we can tack on another one.
Well, it'll turn over the Bulldog lineup, so it'll be Zach Ashford again. He's 1 for 2.
Well, let's do something different.
Yeah.
He's put some good barrels out there today on the ball. This kid can hit 369 coming in today. Wow.
Right, coming in now, he's up to 370.
Yeah. That's a nice average. There should be more guys in
370.
baseball hitting like that.
Look at the RBIs, too, on this club.
I'm
I mean, there are some monster numbers there. That one in for a strike, 0-1 the count. And as we were talking at the beginning of the game, the Mountain West really started out somewhat strangely. San Jose State was way up on top. They were lights out, and Fresno State was towards the bottom. And then Fresno State has been on an absolute tear. They've locked up the Mountain West for the regular season. This one hammered out, and that one will go foul. So just a long strike. 0-2 the count. And the Rebels have been, they were in first a little bit in the top half. If you're just tuning in, if they win, the Rebels are in the postseason in the Mountain West. But if they lose, they could still be out. They could still finish third, fourth, or fifth, and the top 4 teams are the ones that will go to the post.
We've seen that before. We don't want to see
No, I mean, it may all come down. Chase Maddox is on the mound tomorrow, 105 senior day, and, the Rebels are kind of hoping that's just a game to see if they're in third or fourth, but they're in. But they've got some work to do here. Now, if you have been listening to every radio game, you've seen the Rebels down by 5 in the 9th inning and then come back to win. So, I mean,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's college baseball. You never know.
Like I said, though, we're playing a better team. We're playing a fundamentally sound team, and so it's going to take a little bit more work.
And the 1-2, and this one is chopped down to Williams. He'll grab it and throw over to Pfeiffer. Yeah, that is good hustle. Now, I will say, you have to look at it. There's also a lot more upperclassmen right now on Fresno State. Then, that is part of the thing. There's a lot of freshmen, a lot of local freshmen that are learning the game.
Can I throw a butt in there?
Carter.
Throw your button in there.
Freshman, sophomore, 10 years in the big leagues, rookie, doesn't matter. You can always hustle like that, right?
That is true.
There's certain things that
You're
you
right.
can always do no matter how. Now, once again, we've seen some plays in this game where experience does help, and sometimes you just got to go through that as a young kid. But that's one thing, no matter what, that you can always give.
JT Arruda steps in, and he'll take the first pitch up and in. I'm sorry, Carter Bins.
See Carter try to
Arruda.
turn it out a little bit. He kind of left the elbow out there.
He was ready to get hit. Now, we'd see the umpire, if that had happened.
I'm telling you what, watching what I've seen out of this umpire, I bet he would have threw him out of the game, and it was clearly not meant to be.
The 1-0, little high, 2-0 the count.
Hit anybody, but I promise you, I bet he would have tossed him. I don't want to see it. I don't even want to put in the situation.
Of course,
I might come out of the booth.
Josh Towers will go from here. He's got his helicopter ready. He'll be going to EDC later
That's my helicopter
today.
here in the
Now, let's see. This might get right on us. Foul ball, boom, right on top of him.
You had your glove.
If I only had my glove. Dick Calvert won't let me bring my glove to the game, darn it. We would have thrown back this like a convertible, and I would have, well, I'd like to say I would have caught that, but let's be honest.
You sprinted out the door perfectly right there and made that play.
You had that much faith in me?
I did.
Give me the play-by-play of that one. And Doug trips on the
defense like Schwarber, I don't know.
Oh, he's improved a lot. I'll say this. He's improved a lot. 2-1.
Play the other day where he tripped over his own feet.
He's made a lot better plays this year. Because I'm a Cubs fan, I watch a lot of Cubs games. And yes, he still has problems, but he's also improved compared, trust me, compared to years before. He has improved so much as an outfielder. The 3-1 pitch, yeah. Because you know what? A wise guy one time said he did hit him.
He's throwing him out.
So that's it?
No, he didn't throw him out.
Oh, okay. So what was the warning about? Oh, so that's 2.
No,
so that's a hit by batter. So
it is a warning.
Bins is on first.
Because he jumped the gun on that. He clearly didn't try to hit him on purpose the first inning. The umpire didn't understand the game. He jumped the gun. If he would have thrown him out there, that's what I'm talking about. That would have just been bad baseball by the umpire. He didn't mean to hit him. The ball's getting away from him.
Right.
That's the right play to let that go.
Well, now here's the guy that has been JT Arruda.
And you didn't want to hit him to get to this kid anyway.
No, he's 2 for 2. He has 4 RBIs. They have 5 runs right now. It's 5-1. He's got 4 of the RBI.
Right. I'm not hitting the 258 guy, getting to the 350 guy that has all the runs today driven in. I'm not doing that.
No, the guy who took you deep to center field on a 3-run shot in the first inning.
I might chin check him. I'm not throwing him in. That chin is still at outside back. I promise you.
And JT Arruda made one of the best plays, and we've seen some great shortstop play here this year. He was so far deep. He was on the outfield grass, and he did a perfect throw at Derek Jeter where it bounced perfectly, and this one shot down foul, so it is 0-1.
On that play, so Austin Pfeiffer, when you got to get in a low position, you got to have a little bend in your legs, right? Because you're sitting there waiting for the pitcher to pick off. You get a half a step. So as I'm on first base, I'm low, I'm rotating, and I'm staying there. I'm not very far off first base. He popped off the base, and he was straight up. So there's no way he can field a ground ball. So if that ball's fair, he's 5 inches off the base. It's a double down the line just because he's in an unathletic position. Now, he made a great adjustment there. But the play before, you don't have time to find out. Like, you don't have time. You don't want to be the one that the one time you don't do it, you get burned on it. You don't want to be in that situation.
And that almost happened there.
Yeah, and it almost happened.
Just went
That's what
foul.
we're talking about like work ethic and hustle and don't take things for granted. Just put yourself in a good position, and what's the worst that happened? You burn a couple calories, right?
Jabara
These scouts
sets
are
and
looking for
deliver.
everything.
Yeah, and the 1-1 pitch to Arruda, and there goes the runner, and Godman can't get the ball, and that will be a stolen base for Carter Binns, the catcher, who now has 7 stolen bases on the season.
7 for 9. I mean, their percentages are all really good.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You look at is stolen bases, especially the major leagues, have kind of been downplayed the last few years. But when you have the percentages like Fresno State does, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's effective, timely running.
so he ran on the third pitch. You see a lot of teams, a lot of
That one bounces up there. The count now 3-1 to Arruda.
a lot of teams that maybe aren't in first place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams that aren't maybe mediocre. They run first and second pitch a lot. Like they always feel like they have something to do. So it becomes very predictable. So it's easier to throw those guys out. It's easier to set them up. You get teams like this. Or did you really expect him to run in this situation? Did you expect him to run on the third pitch? Like the timing of what they've done so far in this game hasn't been predictable.
So now they're just on a 3-1 pitch. They're just walking Arruda now. So
there you go. Now you're Fresno State? Did you think that ahead? Did you want?
Well-
Did you want to take the bat out of his hands?
but why not? McCarthy Tatum's batting even higher than him.
So this is like the Philadelphia Phillies lineup, you know? All right, I'm going to walk Bryce Harper. Well, then what are you going to do to Rhys Hoskins? You don't walk him? Then what are you going to do to JT Realmuto, right? So, you got to pick your poison, and these guys are all backing each other up. Like, if you want to pitch around one, guess what? Now you got to face me.
You got to face McCarthy Tatum, who has 59 RBI on the year. He'll take the first one outside. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 59, and he's batting 6 points higher than Arruda, 360, 59 RBI, and by the way, 10 home runs. So that's.
This is. I mean, they're doing things, and I don't see Fresno State all year.
That one missed 2-0 the count.
Get the call. They're doing things to put everybody in a situation to be successful. It's really cool what we're watching tonight, and like I said, I'm gonna guess by being ranked 25th in the country that they've done this quite a bit throughout the course of the season.
Well, they started out slow, as I said, but since then they have caught fire. And Jabara sets the 2-0 pitch, and that one does catch the outside part of the plate.
Pretty similar pitch that we just saw. So we've seen the top half and the bottom half, right? The last 2 innings. We saw at the start. He threw 2 great pitches, got the call. Threw his third pitch in the same spot, didn't get the call. We just saw it right now with Jabara. That becomes difficult for these players.
And this one is hammered down, and that is fair. A fair ball as Tatum shoots it down there. That will easily score 2, and Tatum gets a double, and it is now 7-1 Fresno State
All right, I got to say this.
over UNLV.
They called that pitch in. He threw it in. Slightly elevated, no big deal. He wasn't committed. Did you see him? The pitch didn't have the finish that we're used to. That
Second
late,
baseman,
sharp,
Nolan.
sinking life. He's
Yep.
had
Right.
a really good pitch. Because of the warning, I'm telling you right now, Dougie, because of the warning, knowing that if he drills somebody again, it's a possibility. He didn't throw that ball the way he threw most pitches, the way he was throwing his good one. He kind of guided and babied that ball, and so it didn't have that late sink that he's found success with. And so the guy was able to turn all over it for a double.
Dempsey steps in, fouls that one off, 0-1 the count.
If you're going to throw it, you got to commit to it no matter what happens. And I'm telling you right now, he wasn't committed to that pitch.
We know.
And I don't know, maybe he didn't want the pitch, but you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where maybe he shook, but he didn't. I don't know. He wasn't committed to that pitch. It's very unfortunate.
There is stirring now in the Rebel bullpen. Jabara's pitch count up at 63, and that one is a big swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. And here's the thing. There is a tomorrow, but there's potentially nothing after tomorrow. And so, it's all hands on deck.
And that's the other thing. That's why I'm shocked that he was been allowed to give up 7 runs in this game, right? Because of what's at stake with the season.
And the 0-2, and that one is going to go right to Bryson Stott. That'll do it, but the Bulldogs keep adding on. 7-1 now, going to the bottom of the 4th over UNLV, live from Early Wilson. Bottom of the fourth, 7-1. Bulldogs on top of the Rebels. Can't call it a must-win yet, but we are getting there. Max Smith now steps in, the left-handed senior right fielder. 0 for 1 on the game, batting .300 on the year in the first pitch, and he'll take this one and pop it up foul. When it comes to Rocky Mountain Cold, Coors Light, 21 means 21. With great beer comes great responsibility. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Davis Moore, very economical pitch count, 42 here in the fourth. He had one of the quickest bottom of the second innings. You'll see that one misses 1-1 the count.
He's ready to go. He gets the ball, he gets on the mound, he's ready to go. We were talking about this with the Orioles pitcher yesterday with my son, and he was talking about how Dan Straley takes the longest in between pitches to throw a pitch. He's having a very bad year. He's given up a ton of home runs, a lot of runs. What it does is it gives the hitters time to reset. It gives them time to process and to think about what's going on. What did you throw in? The longer you take in between pitches, the more beneficial it's going to be to the offense. When you get the ball, you work quick, you force these guys, they feel rushed, they don't take as good as swings, they swing at more pitches because they feel rushed, you have more success. What else does it do, Dougie? Your defense is always ready.
Right.
They're ready to go.
They're not
They can't
bored.
sit around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2-2 now to Smith as he fouls that one off. And it's just such a great, it keeps the fans in, it keeps the outfielders in, everybody. And the 2-2 pitch, and this one hammered down. That is a fair. Oh, wow. That's a foul ball.
I didn't see it.
But
definitely hit the dirt and foul territory. I didn't see where
but
it
it
went
looked
over first base.
Yeah. But I will say this: the first base umpire Billy Hayes did a great job. He had the plate last night, did a great job, and he was right on the line. To me, that looked like it went over the bag and then did hit foul. But it is a foul ball, so Max will come back. And the count 2-2, and he'll pop this one up to, looks like, left field, and Jameson under it, and that is an easy out now for the first out. So
I understand why they're doing it. I don't like how deep Fresno State plays to start the at-bat, but I definitely understand what they're doing, and it worked beautifully to start the game with Bryson Stott. But I'll say this, they're very good at getting back first.
Yeah.
Play in on the baseball. They're very good at this. You can tell that they put a lot of work in on their outfield play and how to read and how to react on balls hit.
Austin Pfeiffer, the right-handed first baseman, up and in.
Throw him out.
He got out of the way. He wasn't like, now that's a freshman. Carter Benz leans into it, right?
Yeah.
The senior leans into it. The freshman jumps out of the way. 1-0 the count, and this one he'll hammer to left field, and that will get down, and let's see if Pfeiffer can stretch this to a double. He will with those long legs, and it is a double for the Rebels, standing up as Austin Pfeiffer
Love it too.
takes Jameson all the way back to the wall.
Jameson is upset how he played it pretty good. Like, there's nothing much he can really do.
No.
But he's upset because he feels like he could have got that ball in quicker and maybe got him at second. And I love that, man. That's like it's self-motivation. It's like drive that he has to maybe he can get better. There's nothing he can do. The ball was hit perfectly. But I love the fact that he feels like he should have got him.
Jacob Godman now, the freshman catcher, steps in, batting .223 now, and he'll take the first pitch and he'll pop it up to shortstop going out. Aruda camps under it, and one pitch and one out now to Jacob Godman. Yeah, you do say that all the time. You're looking at the Atlanta score. How'd Freeman do tonight?
Well, what I'm looking at is the Milwaukee Brewers couldn't have played any worse baseball. I'm telling you, the errors, the defense was very
I was watching that
embarrassing
game
in Philadelphia the entire series. Philadelphia did nothing to capitalize, which does not bode well, does not speak well of the Philadelphia Phillies team if they couldn't take advantage of a Brewers team who played poorly. So I was telling these guys, Atlanta's the play today if you're going to bet, and the reason is
Grant Robbins steps in, takes the first one for a strike, 0-1 with Pfeiffer at second.
Atlanta does a lot of fundamentally sound things. They're very good at that stuff. And this Brewers team played such a bad style of baseball, and when you're winning, it hides mistakes. They didn't address anything they did. When you go and play a team that doesn't put up with that, it shows.
This one will be grounded out. Dempsey gets it, and he throws over, and that will do it. So the double wasted. The Rebels leave one on. We'll go to the top of the fifth. Bulldogs on top, 7-1, live from Early Wilson. Emilio Nogales steps in, 7-1, top of the fifth. The Bulldogs on top of the Rebels. Rebels trying to get one more win out of either this game or tomorrow's to assure themselves a spot in the postseason Mountain West tournament. Fresno State's already locked up first place, but they're playing for a whole lot more as they are ranked 25th in the nation, and they're trying to get their resume even better.
Our other scenario was if Air Force lost out?
San Jose lost out. And they have one more game. They've already played and lost to Air Force. Today, because they play earlier, and they play earlier tomorrow. They play 2 hours earlier, so the game won't be over. But if San Jose loses tomorrow, the Rebels are in. But if San Jose wins and it's up in Air Force, and you know that place, I mean, there are home runs galore up there sometimes, and you know the Falcons aren't going to lay down for anybody. They're going to play their hearts out.
That's not their style.
That's not their style. Then the Rebels would be in, but they'd be in as number 4 because they would lose the tiebreaker to Reno. They could be number 3 if they could get one more win.
Just gotta get in.
Right, that's the thing. You get in. And that one misses, so the count 2-2 to Nogales.
What's his pitch count now? Where are we at on Jabbar?
His pitch count's right around 70.
And that's a lot because it's been stressful. Since the first inning, it's been stressful.
He only had the top of the third was about as quick of an inning as you could get. Every other inning, he's given up 3, 2, and 2 has been stressful.
Start to fifth, and we had a very short inning, so there's a lot of pitches in between.
A lot of them, and he's missing there now.
But you can see now he's kind of guiding it. He doesn't have as much life on the ball anymore. I'm actually shocked that there's nobody up in the bullpen. 1. I'm actually 2 that he's still in the game.
I've got to agree with you because they only have one more game tomorrow.
Are we short on pitching, or?
Well, Paul Ritchie didn't. They used a couple pitchers, but most of them just came in one yesterday.
7-1. We're in this game. It's the 5th inning. This game's not over.
No, and the 3-2 pitch. This one chopped down to Williams. Williams bobbles it, but recovers. That was good by Williams. He recovered. He threw over to Pfeiffer for the first out of the inning.
His glove, though?
I did.
He got low, but his glove was turned the wrong way. Now, if he turns that ball over, he can absorb it into his belly button, into his stomach. He had it this way. That ball's got a lot of topspin because of how it's hit. So by turning his glove over, it's going to hit his glove and go down. He turns it the normal way. That topspin's right into my glove. A little bit easier. But his body was in proper position to where if he hits it, he gets to keep it in front of him.
Nate Timian steps in. He is 0 for 2 on the day, but he's already impressed Josh Towers and I on a throw that really didn't mean anything, but a throw where he was going back on the play from, now that one 1-0 the count, back on the play and made a throw from basically the warning track in right field. One bounced it perfectly into third base.
Yeah. Listen, and if the scouts are looking for something, he showed it off. He's got a great build, too. He's got a great body. I mean,
And then went inside 2-0 the count.
There's a lot of tools out there, and having an arm like that from the outfield, man, that's why I'm curious if maybe he's pitched in high school or something, you know? That boy might be able to bring it on the bump.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. It'd be interesting to see next year. Maybe he'll go there. I thought a kid was proposing, but he was just handing a drink in a very proposal-like way.
He got down on one knee?
Yeah, he got down on one knee and handed a Dr. Pepper.
Are you sure it was Dr. Pepper?
It was. It was a Dr. Pepper. It has been confirmed that was a Dr. Pepper. Angel saw it, right?
We went back to the
Dr.
tape?
Pepper, yeah, right there. Check that for the replay. 2-1 the count. Jabara sets, and this one, well, I thought it was a strike, but it's 3-1, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing.
But the umpire's so caught up on the hitter, like the check swing that he called a ball, the first pitch, it was right down the middle as well, which I thought he fouled it off. Like, it looks like his attention's on the hitter's like check swinging every pitch.
And the 3-1, and that was a good pitch and a good swing, but he comes up empty, full count.
He doesn't know how he missed that ball. You see him look at the pitcher like, what just happened?
Well, I will say this, Jabbar wasn't timid on that one. He brought the heat. He was showing a little bit of anger, but he did his anger.
I'm glad we're not under contract with anybody in particular because I'd probably get fired for talking about the umpire this much.
That one misses, and that will be a walk. And I'm also looking down in that Rebel bullpen because I cannot believe that somebody isn't up and going.
Catchers talking to the umpires, you can tell. They don't show it, but,
right.
You can understand when Jabara put his head down. He didn't like his reaction. Was that whole at bat, I think that we had a few missed calls at bat.
I would agree.
The first pitch I'm still confused on.
Because it was right down the middle?
But it was right down the middle.
Right. Fresno steps in.
There's multiple ways to call strike.
0 for 2, and that one misses.
He's getting upset.
And
getting upset on the mound.
I will say this as a quick thing. Josh and I'll tell you what, we have never heard UNLV has supported us 100% because we're critical at times, and I've never heard one peep. But you know what? That proves that people are confident, and I appreciate that.
We're being honest. I'm not crossing the line of being
Oh no,
I'm being very honest.
that one in for a strike, 1-1 the count.
Everybody's got to be held accountable. I would hope that if I'm doing a terrible job, somebody would say something, Doug. It's just.
Well, we're saving that for the 6th inning, Josh.
Oh, okay. We got time.
I'm going to present you with a Dr. Pepper down on one knee. Yes. Hey. 1-1 the count, and there goes the runner, and Godman sets, throws, and nice throw. Did he get him? No, he did not. So Timian gets in. I thought Williams got that tag in before Timian's got in there.
He never got to the right spot. How is he late on that? You know who's covering. It wasn't a delay steal. You can't be on the backside of second base on a throw coming from the catcher, so the ball's going by the runner.
Because that was a good throw by Godman.
He's got to be on the infield side of second base. He's got to get there to catch and tag. He was in the wrong spot. The
1-2 pitch, and that one bounces up there, and there goes Timian. Will get down to third without a throw.
He didn't want to throw it just in case he threw it away. But once again, it goes back to Williams at second base. He never got to second base, as if he forgot who's covering. That throw was perfect. It would have been an easy catch and tag for an out, and now we got him on third base because we didn't get to position.
It will be a wild pitch as it went in the dirt. So 2-2, 1 out. Now Timian over at third.
There's a lot of stuff that we need to go over.
2-2. The infield is in, and that one is a called third strike, and that was a great pitch by Jabara.
He's looking out over. This is why you have to make the pitch. We saw their pitcher make that pitch early in the game to get out of a situation turn don't play. He made the right pitch. You have to trust that. If you ever go away from the right pitch, you're going to fail more times than you succeed. That was beautiful.
Now there is action now up in the Rebel bullpen. 2 outs here. Number 9 hitter Jeff Jamison, who's 1 for 2. He's batting .220 right now, but he did have a single back in the second. That first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. So Jabara just trying to get through 5, and then it looks like it'll be a bullpen game for the Rebels. And the 0-1, and that one also in there. Might as well go inside, do anything you want here. 0-2 the count.
You fed them enough away to where they took advantage of it. Once again, like we talked about, you got to try something new. And going inside, he's had a ton of success. One pitch all day.
Godman set outside, and he does go outside. And boy, it's like Godman's having trouble receiving that ball this inning. I know sometimes they've been hitting the dirt.
As he's getting ready, he's always dropping his left knee immediately. So he's not staying in catcher position. He's not reading the ball and then reacting. He's always dropping his left knee, which is altering his body, which is putting him in a bad spot to be able to catch.
And the 1-2, this one chopped down, goes to Johnson. He'll throw it over from third to first, Pfeiffer. So the Rebels avoid giving up a run. They're down 7-1. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Rebels in the bottom of the 5th as they trail 7-1 to the Bulldogs, live from Early Wilson.
You say furry?
Bottom of the fifth, Rebels trail the Fresno State Bulldogs 7-1. The first pitch to James Gamble misses outside. The second one in for a strike, 1-1 the count. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, especially if you listen to the streams on the games, but Fresno, the first baseman, is so far back that if Gamble could just put the ball down there and bunt it to first base, that one's so far outside.
So once again,
Benz doesn't do it, so 2-1 the count.
He's 272 on the year. He's got 1 home run. He's not a home run hitter, right? He has to understand who he is as a baseball player. No matter what you do, going up the middle and the other way always –
the 2-1 misses, so 3-1.
always leads to more success than trying to be pull happy. A guy like this, not very big, doesn't carry a lot of power. He's going to have to pull the ball to hit over the fence, but he's got to know that that's not part of who he is as a baseball player. That's not his strengths.
And the 3-1, and he swings at it, and he hammers it down the left field line. Jamison goes over, and Gamble will hustle down into second. So there we go. He doesn't butt down the first base line. He takes it down for a double down the left field line.
And the left fielder didn't bring the ball in a second. He brought the ball into third base, which is the right play. But why? We saw him last time take the ball into second base.
Right.
What does that tell me? It tells me that they know their hitters. They know their speed, that they've done their homework. Very impressive.
Bryson Stott now steps in, 1 for 2 on the day.
In a situation like this where you're up 7-1, the pitch before I thought was a strike. He didn't get the call, so he gave in a little too much. But nice job, too, because I'm not going to walk you in that situation. I'm still going to make you earn it. If I'm on the other side and we're losing, I can't give in that much, right?
Stott will take the first one, and once again, I'll tell you what. Now, Stott to get a single his first time, but he has been, meaning Moore, the pitcher for Fresno State, has been on that outside part of the plate to Stott and getting ahead of the count. Yeah. So very impressive.
He's locating well.
He really is. The 0-1, and that one misses a little bit high, 1-1 the count.
I wish we had a better way to tell how high that is, right? Because it's like for us, it's height. In and out, we can see pretty well. Height gets a little bit tricky.
It does, because a lot of times we're at an angle here in the press box up a little bit, so it can be deceiving. Well, so the 1-1.
Bryce has hit 2 balls hard to right field.
And so Stott fouls that one off 1 and 2.
Bryson, he doesn't want to go in there too much, I think. So he's doing a good job of staying away. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, even if he didn't get the call, which we both I thought was a strike, stay there. Stay there, because Bryson's not seeing it well. You're locating it well. You came in on Bryson twice. He smashed the ball right field. This particular guy, this particular count, the game score, I'm staying away on him.
And the 1-2, that one bounces up there, 2-2 the count. Gamble with a good secondary lead there.
Catcher's doing a good job blocking.
Yeah, Benz has been very impressive.
Tells you a lot when you got your catcher batting second and he's 7 for 9 on stolen bases.
Right.
It tells you a little bit more about him, not your traditional catcher.
2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Bryson Stott up, bottom of the fifth. Rebels trail by 6. Gamble at second, and the pitch, that one way outside. So now 3-2. Rebels need base runners, and Bryson, he's not adverse to taking a walk either. He's got a lot of walks on the year, 50 in fact.
We can use a big swing. There's a couple things that really we need. We need to get back to putting this game 1 swing away.
And the 3-2, that one's even farther out. So now all of a sudden the Rebels have 2 on with no outs, and Dylan Johnson, 324 coming up.
I know he's not intentionally doing that, but you see what happens when a ball never, ever starts on the plate. It never started in the strike zone. The hitter never has to make a decision. That ball was so far outside.
Right.
Bryson never has to make a decision. So we bring that on the plate. We throw downhill. The hitter has to make a decision because at some point it's a strike. So even if it bounces, I may get a swing. So you're just trying to do things to possibly bring in some success on your end.
And the first pitch, big swing and a miss. He foul tipped it, actually, did Dylan Johnson. As I said, batting .324, 1 for 2 on the day. And the 0-1, and that one, big swing and a miss.
So this is what we need, right? This is big time. We
got
2 gaps.
This is where you got it.
Left center. I don't care.
Huge, yep.
Huge hole between first and second where he loves to go anyways. 1 out, no out, sorry. We don't have to score on here, but this is a big situation. If he gets that pitch again, shoot it through the hole. Let's accept bases loaded for the on-deck hitter. Let him do the dance.
And the 0-2 to Johnson. That one, a called third strike. Now, I will say that was a great pitch by Moore.
Set that up the way he got Dylan out the
Yeah.
first time. He went in to get him out.
Designated
So
hitter.
this time,
Jack Thomas.
you can see Dylan cleared his hips a little bit, expecting the ball in.
Yep.
He paints that ball away. That's a great pitch.
That was
That's
a great pitch.
and a great setup from the
Some-
at-bat before.
Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the opposition. Now, Jack Thomas will, but the Rebels need to do something this inning.
They do, for
I mean, if nothing else, to get that confidence, as you said, Josh, back in that dugout. Jack Thomas Wold can be that man, batting .329. He takes that one way inside, and it almost seems like Moore has more trouble spotting against a left-handed batter. With his control is worse against a left-handed batter than a right-handed batter, and Moore is a right-handed pitcher.
And now, as we're getting into the 5th inning, it looks like he's putting a little bit more pressure on himself, as if maybe he doesn't go too deep, but he has to because he has 7 wins. But you can see
And Wold will foul that one off, 1-1 the
a
count.
couple changes in the Davis Moore from the start of the game till now, which might start telling us a little bit more about why his ERA is so high on the season and why he's given up so many hits. I mean, the league is hitting .271 against him on the year, and he possesses some special stuff, it looks like, from our vantage point, right? So he's getting into a situation where he maybe
That one outside, 2-1 the count. But isn't it?
starts to not trust himself.
Isn't it? It just seems so strange to me that if you look at this game, when a left-handed batter's up there, and maybe it's just because he's more comfortable facing a right-hander, but his control is just that much more off. It's pinpoint, I swear, when it's a right-handed batter.
He was way off the plate on Bryson away.
The 2-1, and that one is a classic double play.
Gotta move.
And Stott over there. Wold does not get there, and that is a double play, exactly what the Bulldogs want. And that was a hanging changeup that Jack Thomas Wold could not get out of the infield. We'll go to the top of the 6th. Rebels trail by 6. Live from Early Wilson. Perhaps still some time going on. There will be a new Rebels pitcher. It'll be Trent Bixby. He comes in with no record on the year, 17 innings pitched with an ERA of 4.24. He'll be starting up with the top of the lineup, Ashford, Binns, and Aruda. And so he does not come in an easy part of the lineup, so he's thrown right into the fire, and it is the top of the 6th. Bulldogs up 7-1. First pitch in for a strike. Tomorrow, 1:05 start. If you're in Las Vegas, it'll be senior day, and they always do a great job here honoring the seniors.
How many do we have this year? They do a good job.
Yeah,
You're
because they get a nice little thing. We can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Got a whole bunch.
5. It's going to be a long ceremony tomorrow. 6, 7 seniors I'm counting. That one hammered down, and that will be fair ball just inside the line, down the right field line. Over Smith, and Ashford will have an easy stand-up double.
I mean, that ball landed right on the line. Wow, that was close.
It just, you talk about it in hockey a lot and puck luck, and it can go either way, and it's just, it seems like whatever Fresno State hits, it's just inside the line. When the Rebels had one like that, it was just outside the line.
I've
So,
never heard puck luck.
Oh, yeah, puck luck. You got to come to a Golden Knights game. Sit up with me in the press box. You cannot cheer. You cannot do
In the
anything.
big dog section.
I am as high as you can get. I'm the press box announcer, so I'm the guy sitting there with no emotion.
So this was my invite.
That
Now
one
the season's
in for
over.
a strike. Going one. Yes, now you are invited. I'll get you into a preseason game next year. That's the kind of. Hey, I invited you to an Offspring concert years ago, so I'm waiting for my first invitation from you to anything.
That's right, you did.
That's right. You were out of town, but that was an invite when they were playing the Brooklyn Bowl. By the way, great show.
What'd you do? Kick my computer off because you're mad at me?
I don't know why you're.
My computer's just not having it today.
Which is strange because you had it going the right way.
Doesn't want to talk about this baseball.
The 0-1 to Benz, and that one misses a little bit high. Want to know the count. Here's what happened. You clicked over there on plays. Let's go back to game status over here. Come back over.
I'm messing around with this computer. There it is.
There. I'd say there will be a fight, Josh Towers versus Doug Douglas, but I think it'd be a short fight. Angel, you'd be picking me up off the ground.
Bixby's getting a little bit
1 and 2 the count.
He needs to get on top of this hand a little bit more. It's starting to hang. It's a dangerous place to be.
Especially with this part of the lineup.
Yeah, he's going to have to get his hand back. I don't think it's his elbow. It looks fine. It's more of the hand. Get back on top of that ball. Get some late, tight spin. Have him chase one. If throws this ball down the way maybe bounces, he'll get a swing and miss.
That appears to be where Godman sets up the 1-2 to Benz, and it is a check swing. They'll go down to first. No swing, says first base umpire Billy
I'm
Hayes.
telling you, he threw it too hard because of the two slow breakers that the hitter couldn't even react, but he wanted to. He was so late on his reaction. That is crazy to see. But now what do you do?
I don't know, because you got Aruda and Tatum, who are a combined 4 for 4 with 7,000 RBIs today. So I guess you challenge them, and that one should be a strikeout. It is a called third strike. So Benz is out on strikes for the second time today.
He didn't go hard fastball. He didn't go breakable. What did he do? He turned over a changeup, and it was nasty.
The shortstop,
Well, let's see if
Aruda.
Trent Bixby can do something that has not been easy, and that's get JT Aruda out. He's 2 for 2. He's got a 3-run home run in the first, single and an RBI in the second, and a walk in the fourth, which may be the way to go. Except you've got Tatum right after, who's also 2 for 2. And the first pitch, that one a little high, 1-0 the count. Top of the 6th, 7-1. Fresno State on top of the Rebels. Rebels trying to get one win and get into postseason play.
I'm looking at Trent Bixby.
In the Mountain West, 2-0 the count.
6 games on the season, 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Does have quite a few walks. He has 5 walks in those 8 innings, so he needs to turn that around. But past that, I guess when he's put him on, he hasn't really let him deliver. Only 8 innings and 6 appearances.
The 2-0, and that one, now I've got 17 and a third innings pitch. Where'd you get 8?
Am I looking at something? Or am I looking at?
That's conference games only, yes.
Okay, so I
right.
missed that. Okay, so 6 games, 8 innings in conference only. Okay. I thought something was up. I was like, what am I missing here?
2-1. Well, that's what a teammate does, Josh.
See, that's
that
a
one
strike.
misses
He
3
didn't
and 1 the
call it,
count.
But that's a strike just because he didn't
It popped
catch
out of
it.
Godman's
Yeah.
glove.
Yeah, I thought something was up. Okay, so 225 in conference. I kind of like the fact they broke down the conferences as well outside of the overall stats, right?
3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. That's Ashford at second base. Bixby sets and delivers to Aruda, and that one in for a strike, so the count will go full.
The other 9 innings for Trent Bixby outside of conference, he's only walked 3 in those innings. So,
Right.
So I got a feeling that those 5 walks and the 2 runs were probably in one game. They just happen to have an off day, but he's cleaned it up overall, so not bad.
And that one fouled, so the count will remain 3-2.
A ton of movement on his pitches too, right? Is that good? The breaking ball's okay. The changeup's really good, and then he spots up with a fastball, which is very important. If you're locating your fastball, your off speed doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be used.
Bixby a junior, so he'll probably come back for his senior year, we would think. Junior college transfer out of Henderson originally. Then he went up to College of Idaho. This one right back up. Oh, man, I thought that was going to find Bixby's glove. And guess what? Aruda will now get his 5th RBI of the game as the Bulldogs go up 8-1.
But did you see the runner on second? As Bixby was coming set, the runner was still moving. He was still moving. He never let him stop his feet. So he pitched. Bixby threw the pitch while the runner at second base's feet were moving towards third. So he gave him, in essence, a running start, a moving start. If he makes him stop his feet and that base hit goes up the middle, there's a chance he can't score. And he had his eyes on him, right? So, like, I don't care how big your lead is, how short it is. I got to have you not moving. I can't be giving you that added towards second base.
McCarthy Tatum drills one, but Gamble is right there in center field to put it away for the second out of the inning.
That's what we talk about. There's ways to prevent runs, right? There's the game inside the game that has to be paid attention to.
Well, whoever teaches the Bulldogs to run the bases,
yes,
because you look at those stats and the percentage of their stealing percentage is great, and then you look at the way just the secondary leads, the way that they're always moving, whether that's Batesall or whoever on that staff does an excellent job.
And that's why they have a few extra runs just because.
Yeah.
And we dropped.
And Godman.
They got a few extra runs just because of how they run the bases, just because how they're taking a couple other extra steps towards the base they want to go to. They're not flat-footed. They have yet to not take a secondary, to just stand around. They have yet to do that. They're putting themselves. That could have been prevented. He could have stepped off and not thrown the pitch.
Dempsey will hammer this one. That will find the gap, and let's see how far Arruda goes. Gamble gets it, and Arruda is being waved home, and he will score the 9th run, and on the throw, Godman can't get it, and over to third. So it'll be a double for Dempsey, and Arruda from first base scores, and now it is 9-1.
This is what I'm talking about, Doggy Fresh. This is what I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
This is the stuff that kind of that bothers me in the major leagues, but this is what I'm talking about. So if he sees the runner bouncing off second base and his feet are moving, he doesn't have to throw that pitch because he was looking at him. He could have stepped off. He could have inside moved. He could have did anything to reset so he didn't allow it. So he gave him that. Bryson Stott knew that he didn't have a play on that, but he threw it anyways, right?
Yeah.
Which, as soon as he got ready to throw it, the runner recognized it, so he took off. He gave the runner third just because he threw a ball that he probably shouldn't have thrown. Now, if he's going to make that throw, then he's got to long hop him, or he's got to make it in the air so the catcher doesn't get short hop so he can make a return throw. But we're talking about preventable stuff. Now, is it a big deal, 2 outs, runner on third? No, maybe not. But does it add opportunities to score? A balk, a wild pitch, which we just saw?
Or we've seen, unfortunately, Godman's had the ball pop out of his glove many times already tonight.
And then there's that, right, exactly. So there's preventable stuff going on all over this field by the Rebels that could have been prevented that were not. And it's adding up now. It's 9-1.
And now Bixby has missed for 3 in a row to Nogales. So it is now a 3-0 count. There is action. It looks like maybe Richie. I can usually pick him off. And that one in for a strike. 3-1 the count. Well, it looks like unless the Rebels make an incredible comeback, it looks like it's all going to come down to tomorrow. Like I said, San Jose State game starts 2 hours before the Rebels. Big swing and a miss, so it's now 3-2. So they're playing Air Force, and if Air Force beats San Jose State, Rebels are in the postseason. They'll either be 4th or 3rd, and this year's postseason is being held up in Reno. And that hits the batter, right?
Yeah, it was a little changeup that he pulled.
So I don't understand what happened when they warned both benches. Now there's been 2 hit batters afterwards, so I'm not sure what's going on. It's college
he jumped the gun on the warning. There was no bad blood. There was no intention. There was no anything. He jumped the gun on the warning, and now once you warn, it's all in your hands, like what you think.
I gotcha.
Like he never should have did it.
No.
Because now we see 2 guys get hit and nothing happened. We recognize it. Neither one of those. That was a changeup, by the way.
Is this the first mound visit? It's 9-1. Am I right?
Are you trying to get me mad?
No.
Are you trying to get me fired up? That's what I was just like.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is the first mound visit. It's 9-1.
I haven't seen the catcher go to the mound. I haven't seen the infielders. I haven't seen a coach yet. The pitchers have been struggling. Things have been going wrong. We're losing 9-1. This is the first time we've seen him talk to the pitcher.
So it's runners at the corner. Dempsey at third. Nogales at first. Timian up. 9-1, top of the 6th. Bixby in. Bixby sets and delivers, and that one is hammered to center field, and that will be the 10th run as an RBI single for Timian.
Every pitch over the middle went up. And look at his body language too, Bixby. You can tell he's kind of deflated.
There are 2 outs here. And you need to put your trust in a bank that's been focused on serving the people and businesses in Nevada and all across the country since 1863. That's U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. See how I did that?
Good.
Boom. That's something there. That's an art form. So Fresno now steps in, and that one is hammered out to right field. Max Smith going back, warning track, and that is a 3-run home run. The 12th hit of the night for the Bulldogs, the 13th run, and they have put up a 5 spot here in the 6th inning. And the Bulldogs rank 25th in some polls in the nation, and they are flexing their muscles tonight. 13 runs, 12 hits for the Bulldogs, top of the 6th.
The left fielder.
Still have yet to see a coach.
Jeff Jameson.
So Jeff Jameson now, the left fielder, will step in, 1 for 3 on the day. Carter Binn's the only Bulldog not to have a hit. Every other Bulldog has at least one. And the first pitch, that one outside. 1-0 the count.
You get predictable. You pitch up. You leave everything
That
out
one in
over.
for a strike.
You're saying you're not setting your pitches up like you got to go in and out. You got to go back and forth. You got to go up and down, right? Well, we've only done one thing, and that's really just stay away and elevated. Obviously, that's not where you want to be. But if you're going to be elevated because you can't get it down, then you got to play the back and forth game. You got to be willing to throw the changeup on top of the fastball. There's multiple ways to be successful.
And that is
Took
a
some off
swinging
that
strike.
one,
He
so
did.
we finally
Yep.
got him out in front, which we haven't really done yet.
But 6 runs, and it is 13-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Rebels need to score crooked numbers all the way out. Live from Early Wilson.
6th inning. Your attention, please. Now pitching.
Well, bottom of the 6th, 13-1. Fresno State all over the UNLV Rebels. And a new pitcher for the Bulldogs. Kevin Larson will come in. 2-0 on the season, 2.30 ERA. He'll be facing Darian Williams, Smith, and Pfeiffer. The 2019 Nissan Rogue, one solid defender. Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Well, now it's 13-1, so perhaps you have to change because tomorrow could be a must-win for the Rebels to get into postseason play. So you wonder if that will affect who comes out of the bullpen.
Darian Williams.
There's still 3 more innings for the Rebels to put pitchers out there, but Darian Williams will come up, and if nothing else, you want to get some offense going here to feel a little bit better. Williams takes the first one in for a strike. Williams is 0 for 2. He hit into a double play, a big one, unfortunately, for the Rebels back in the first inning when they were threatening, and then he flied out in the 3rd inning to right field. And the 0-1 pitch, and that one misses. Yeah. What is he listed at? Let's see what he's listed at.
Throw straight over the top. I don't even know how your arm breaks down going this high.
Oh, my gosh. Now, have you looked and see how tall he is?
No, I'm going to say like 6'8".
Taller.
He pitches like
6'9".
It's like he's 7 foot. How high his arm slot is.
You're exactly right. He's 6'9", and the way that he pitches, I agree with you. He looks like he's 7 feet out there. And This one.
But you see when your arm slot's that high, right? I'm going to show you. Put your pen down. I know you're not on TV, so you can't. So my arm has
He's grabbing my arm right now and hurting it a lot.
Dude, you're tight. This is bad.
I'm an old man.
No, this is too tight. But anyways, so your arm has to break down like this. When you throw from this high, how does your arm break down? It doesn't, right?
Right.
So you lose a lot of velocity. If I want to throw something off speed, I actually have to slow down to throw it. Nobody whose arm slot's this high can stay there. Over time, like if this kid was ever to get drafted, somewhere along the line, they would move his arm slot away from his head. 2-2
the count. Angel, could you get my chiropractor on the line? I think I need to.
Your arm wouldn't rotate.
That's because it's so muscular. Josh.
I'll go with that. I barely even tweaked on it and it got tight.
This is what happens when it's 13-1. Get a little crazy. That one way outside. So a full count to Darren Williams.
You're going to see these inconsistencies with Larson. Like I said, that's a tough arm slot. It's a natural arm slot. But over time, we want to move on and we want to be successful. We have to get away from that. Here's the other thing.
And that one is hammered out to right field for a base hit for Darian Williams, his first hit of the game.
It's
tough to change somebody. As a coach, you never know the right time or if you're supposed to. When do I? It's tough to change somebody.
Now playing left field,
especially he's probably had a lot of success in his life coming up through the amateur ranks through high school and stuff, right? So it's tough. Just having gone to that level, knowing that at some point, if he wants to play professional baseball and if he has the ability, like he would have to make an adjustment. This is something he would have to do like during the off season of his college season. You're never gonna do anything like that during the season.
Well, he's a freshman, a redshirt freshman, so he's got some time. Now, we do have some defensive changes for the Bulldogs when they're up by 12 runs here in the sixth. Chastain now out in left field and Atino at second.
I can't believe what's happening.
And Fresno now is behind the plate, so he moves from first to catcher, and Tatum now is over at first. So how's that? How's your scorecard looking? Do you know when we started many years ago, Josh used to poo-poo the computer. He would poo-poo the computer. And now look at you. You're addicted to that thing. You used to keep it the old-fashioned way, which when I still go to baseball games, I love keeping it the old-fashioned way, keeping score. But now we are addicted to these computers. One of the reasons, Angel, is because I can't read my own handwriting. So 2-0 to Smith at Darian Williams, and now it is 3-0. Larson also pitches a lot slower. I realize he gave up a single, but he does not have the pace that way inside that Davis Moore had. Davis Moore, as you said, he would get the ball and he would pitch. The pace of the game is slowed way down, and Larson will get a visit here to the mound.
Dempsey has moved to third base.
So Dempsey now over at third.
Fresno is now behind the plate.
So Fresno State definitely thinks they've won this game with wholesale changes. And like I said, they've already locked in their position in first.
Two new additions. Matt Atino in at second base.
So let's see if the Rebels can just get some good feeling here, as tomorrow's game is potentially either the Rebels' last game of the season or a jumping off point. And just so, once again, that we're clear, tomorrow they could win. If they win tomorrow, they don't just barely qualify. They jump from, basically, if San Jose wins, from 5th to 3rd place. So, it's a huge game. Chase Maddox will be on the mound, scheduled for the Rebels tomorrow, and that is a 1:05 start. And I know what you're thinking, May. Oh, it's going to be super hot out here. I think tomorrow's high is only in the lower 80s, so come on out. Smoking Sam's will be open. First pitch to Austin Pfeiffer, 1-0 the count. Williams at second, Smith at first, and the 1-0 pitch at high release, and that one in for a strike, 1-1 the count. And I'm sure a lot of that on the mound was, okay, you're up by 12 runs. The one thing you cannot do is walk anybody. If you have to throw batting practice, you make sure that you're not walking anybody. The 1-1 pitch, and that one misses, 2-1 the count, because you're up 12 runs. That's a Cardinal sin or a Bulldog sin.
Well, once again, like we talked about with this kid, he's never going to be able to have great control with this arm slot. It's a natural arm slot. It's nothing intentional. He's not trying to walk, but there's too many inconsistencies.
And the 2-1 misses.
You how your arm doesn't break down. So
Well, my arm breaks down.
he's going to miss high. He's going to miss low. He's not going to miss in and out as much, even though we saw him pull one. He's going to miss top to bottom a lot more. It's very difficult. And then we saw the breaking ball where he had to slow down to throw it because of the way his arm breaks down. It's not intentional, but, you know, you got to get a guy work. You want to use him.
That one is a strike, so it'll be a full count.
It looked like a change up, or he took some off that. Maybe I was wrong and he took something off that. But once again, you have to get these guys in, and this is a great time. I mean, it's 13-1, right? So if he runs into some problems, it's fine. He can work through it in this situation.
The full count pitch, and this one is fouled off. That was a good pitch, so Pfeiffer did swing at what appeared to be a strike. Seth Mullis now on deck, so he might be coming in for Godman. We have seen Rebels put 6s and 7s up on the board. If they could do that, they'd be right back in this game. But they need to start right now. And the 3-2, and just got a piece of it to stay alive. Fresno unable to hold on to that, so Pfeiffer lives to see another pitch. And the 3-2 pitch, and that one is swung on and missed. So Pfeiffer strikes out, and looks like we will have a pinch hitter. It'll be Seth Mullis, the senior, taking over, maybe behind the plate. They do have 3 catchers, but I can't imagine. Something tells me Taylor Mina will be the catcher tomorrow, so they're probably letting Mullis get here. So Mullis steps in with runners at first and second, now 1 out. Mullis batting .341. Now, that's in limited plate appearances. Over the season, he's only had 41 at-bats, but still, 14 hits. He does have a home run on the year, but right now, if you're a Rebel fan, you just want to see him get something on the board. And the 0-1, and that one is hammered down right to third. Should be a double play. He throws over. Oh, he drops the ball. Now, he should be, wow, that looks like he dropped it without transferring it, but they will get Smith out at second. Williams went to third, and Mullis is at first. Did you think that was through a transfer?
I did think it was through the transfer.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I don't like how the runner at second was already peeling off. I mean, you still got to go in. Even if you have to slide early before you get to second base, so be it. But I thought he peeled off pretty early and kind of conceded the double play. You're down a lot. There's no time limit in baseball. It's a beautiful thing. I know 13-1. It's a very tough climb. But if it wasn't doable, we would end this game.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's also what you talked to earlier. You can always hustle. There's scouts here. It's 13-1. Grant Robbins now. He takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Williams at third. Mullis over at first. And that one misses, 1-1 the count.
It's a tough strike zone for him, too, being this tall and working this high. He's coming from such a crazy angle, which is really, I mean, it's really fascinating. But you gotta keep in mind, when that ball's crossing home plate, his strike zone's minimal. He comes at such a different angle than anything you've really ever seen.
That one fouled off 1-2. What do I need to do? More stretching, yoga? What does Dr. Towers say I need to do?
Definitely need to stretch that thing.
Okay.
The way there's a million stretches that you can do.
All right. In between innings,
golf
we're gonna.
Club or something. There's a trick to it. But wow, I'm shocked at how tight you were.
Well, like I said, it's muscle mass.
Yeah, I got it.
1-2, and this one will be through. Oh, what a great play by Atino. Safe at first, but still a great play by a second baseman who just came in. The Rebels do score. Williams comes home, and that will be a single and an RBI for Robbins. Mullis moves over to second, but still, that's impressive for a player that just came in. He covered a lot of ground and almost got Robbins, but Grant was hustling, busting down that, and it is now 13-2. And Gamble now.
Hustle and effort.
Hustle and effort. There you go.
Again, that's a very easy ball to just let go through because you're up 13.
Yeah. Hustle and effort by both players on opposite teams.
Yes.
And that one will be, I'll tell you what, good job by Gamble. They're going to stop.
Yeah, we ain't going.
No, not on, because that's still timing out there.
That 3-4 hole's been open all day.
Yes.
All day. And Kevin Larson, he pitches up a lot. because once again,
The
it's
shortstop,
just the way it is with him.
Bryson Stott.
It's tough for him to pitch in because if he wants to throw a sinker, the way your hand pronates, it makes it difficult. So he's more of a four-seam fastball guy. So he's going to stay away a lot. You're going to get some elevated pitches. If he has a...
Now, what's going on here? All of a sudden, Coach Stolte is coming out pointing to Robbins at second. I was about to say, why is he coming out to pull the... Yeah, is he maybe just checking on his health or something? Maybe they saw him running strangely. Now, Bryson Stott steps in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Stott 1 for 2 on the day, and he'll take the first one. Boy, Stott has been 0-1 on every at-bat. He walked his last time. He has a single in the first, and he's flied out to right field. Stott has 10 home runs on the season. And this one, it'll be chopped down, takes a bad bounce, and actually goes off of Tatum's glove, so everybody advances. So it is now 13-3, still bases loaded. And we'll see how they score that. I think that'll probably be a base hit. So an RBI single for Stott, bases still loaded, and now Dylan Johnson up at the plate. And if you're a Rebels fan, you're just hoping the merry-go-round keeps on going. That one way outside. And you wonder how much longer Larson's going to be in the game. I would say this is his last batter.
Well, and, Dougie, we knew that this game wasn't over. We knew more runs were going to score. They never pack it in, right? The offense is always there. There's so many more runs scored later in college baseball games than early.
Yeah.
This is why you don't, the 3 runs could have been prevented, but they weren't. Fine. The 2 runs after could have been. Guess what? The 2 runs in the 4th could have been. And I promise you those 6 in the 6th could have been. But we kind of, with our backs against the wall, we kind of let this game go as if it's over.
And Johnson swings at that one out of the strike zone. 1-2 the count.
Fight, in my opinion, from the Rebels when this was going on. There wasn't prevention. There wasn't too much prevention. I mean, once again, let's go back to this. We've given up 13 runs and only 1 mound visit. The catcher finally went to the mound in the 6th inning.
And that one, little something off of it, fouls it off.
So where was the game planning? Where was the communication? Where was the, hey, we're going to try something new? Or where was the pep talk? Where was the, let me pat you on the back. Listen, man, it's all right. All right. I just want to give you a breather. Where's any of that?
And you look at the hits. It's 12-10 on hits. I mean, both have double digits on hits. It's just Fresno State's have been very timely. We'll see if Dylan can get one here. He fouls that off, so it's still 1-2. 2 outs, bases loaded. That's Robbins over at third, Gamble at second, and Bryson Stott at first. So Stott now 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Keep that batting average at .366. And the 1-2, and that one low, 2-2 the count. And though it seems like it should be farther along, this is still only the bottom of the 6th inning. If they can keep this merry-go-round going, all of a sudden, still 10 runs, but there's 3 runs out there right now. Dylan Johnson, or 4 if he gets a big fly, but instead he will strike out. So the Rebels do put up 2. They'll go to the top of the 7th, 13-3. Bulldogs over the Rebels, live from Early Wilson.
inning was like that. He was that bad before.
Top of the 7th, 13-3, Bulldogs on top of the Rebels. We've got some changes. Jason Sharman will take over in left field. Seth Mullis does stay in the game. He'll catch, and a new pitcher. He pitched last night. Connor Woods will be on the bump for the Rebels, and he'll be facing the top part of the lineup, which has changed.
Austin Chastain.
So the first batter, Chastain, fouls it off. 0-1 the count. Crazy thing is, did they bat out of order? Oh, okay. So Chastain, they did not. Chastain, the senior, comes in. He is the first at bat. He's batting, 236 on the year. Yep, they are. As we said, Fresno State, you have to remember, they've already locked up everything. And they're up by 10 runs. So they will be heading to Reno, definitely. So will San Diego State, who will finish second. And then there's a lot going on.
I've always noticed this, too. Like when I was with the Blue Jays and we were out of it, and the Yankees, we finished with the Yankees quite a few times at the end of the year where they had already clinched. This is exactly how the games would turn out with a day or two to go with the season on the line. It's
Big
the same
swing
thing.
and a miss, strikeout.
We would get rolled by the Yankees. I'm trying to figure out at this point what it is, right? Because these guys are still playing for something. UNLV, we were out of it. The Yankees had already clinched. But once again, it goes back to why are you in that position in the first place? Why did you clinch first place? Why are you going to the postseason? It's the effort that you've only known to give, what you've done all year. It's crazy how this result happens quite often. When your back's against the wall and you're in a must-win situation, you're tense. You force things. I can't. Like, you have that negative mindset. This is a common result, to be honest with you.
Otino steps in. He'll take the second pitch wide, so 1-1 the count. And you talked about the tenseness and all that kind of stuff. That boils down to the first inning.
Oh, yeah.
That is the first inning in a nutshell, and that's where – because the Rebels had a chance to score in the first inning, right back, tie up the game.
Completely different.
Yeah, and that set the tone, and from there, big swing and a miss. The count now 1-2 to Otino, who came in at second base and actually made a really great play. Didn't result in an out, but showed great range. And, that's all it takes. And you think Fresno State's going to be tight tomorrow? They're not going to be tight tomorrow. They're going to be loose as a goose. Big swing and a miss. So Connor Woods comes in, strikes out another one. Now, the Rebels might be loose, too, if San Jose State is down by 12 runs to Air Force in the bottom of the 7th when tomorrow's game starts. But, like I said, they'll still have something to play for.
Your attention, please. Batting for Aruda, number 36, Dylan Johnson.
So Dylan Johnson comes in for Aruda. Aruda, the shortstop, had himself a day, 3 for 3. Now, this is their Dylan Johnson, not our Dylan Johnson.
Right.
Spelled differently, too. D-Y-L-A-N. Did you ever meet any guy, and I'm sure you did, I'm guessing there had to be one baseball guy, this one 2-0 the count, that when you would tell them your name, now Josh is spelled almost always the same, Doug's almost spelled the same, but like a Dylan, they go, you spell it, D-I-L-L-O-N. They'd always, I knew this one guy, and he would go, and he'd invariably get him wrong half the time, but he swore in his mind, that's my gift. That's what I'm good at.
What was?
Oh, no, your name's Jeff, you spell it Jeoff. He would tell you how you would spell the name. No, I know that's not the case, but he would.
Was he right all the time?
No, he was wrong most of the time, but he was just so confident. Well, I get him right most of the time. I guess I just missed this one. This one is chopped down takes a big bounce. Williams stays with it, but can't get it out of his glove. That was tough. That took a big monster bounce. We'll see how that one is scored. It will go down as a hit.
Williams does a lot of things good, but he does a lot of things wrong. It reminds me of a person who's just learning a position. Like I said, I don't know where he played, what position he played in high school. He seems to be a very talented player, good with a stick, so I'm going to assume he probably played shortstop.
I swear I saw him in American Legion here at Earl E. Wilson, and looks like we've got yeah, third base. That's what I was about to say. And he played number 5. And he was playing third base. So I think that is where he played in high school most of the time. And That's quite a difference, third to second.
It's huge. Like now at third base, you get one reaction. You get low, and it's immediate. Boom, boom. At second base, it feels like an eternity because you're so far back. You have so much time. The reason I say it is because there's a lot of reads on ground balls that he misreads, that he's not sure what to do. Does he come in? Does he hang back?
And that's being a freshman learning a new position. And that is one thing that we have to remember. There are a lot of freshmen on this UNLV team, which bodes well for the future. But sometimes in these stress games like today, and we've seen, that can come back and backfire. So now it's 2-1 the count to Tatum.
Early work. Whenever there's time, you're going over something. I can set up, second base, first base up in that second floor of that, was the batting cages up there?
Yep.
Like I can set it up there and go over certain things like this, right? There's even enough. There's enough room to hit up there. There's enough room to roll ground balls. Like I can take advantage of certain situations. You cannot. You can. I mean, you're in college. You cannot learn enough. You got to cram knowledge, man.
The 3-1, and that one is fouled off. Of course, you have to remember there are limits to the amount of time.
Yes.
It's amazing in the sports. There's traveling, but there are only set amount of times that they can do and work with coaches and things like that.
And I gotta say this, knowing Stan Stolte, he follows them to a T.
Oh yeah,
he's
a character guy to the max. And the 3-2, there goes the runner. Wow.
He took a step off. He walked off.
Well, I must admit it. That looked like a pretty good pitch to me, but it is called a ball, so it is a walk.
Catcher didn't move. That's probably why they liked it so much.
So Johnson now at second, Tatum at first, and Dempsey there. 2 outs. And it is a 10-run ball game. Fresno State on top, but the Rebels did score 2 in the bottom of the 6th, and you would love to see Connor Woods, after striking out the first 2, if he could, just keep them right here. Like I said, if nothing else, build on some confidence, score a few more runs, and then tomorrow is, could be your first playoff game. You win, you move on. If you win, you definitely move on. If you lose, you're scoreboard watching, and that is, I guess that's one thing. I remember when
they're scoreboard watching early.
Yeah, they're scoreboard watching 2 hours before the game because that's a 12 o'clock Mountain Time start up in Colorado Springs.
They can't forget to
that one misses, 1 and 2 the count.
Right, don't miss your stretch. Don't miss your routines. Don't miss whatever time you hit. Don't miss any of the stuff. I know they're going to get caught up in computer watching. They're going to get caught up in checking the score a lot, but they can't forget to go about their business because they still have a game that they have to be prepared for.
And the 1-2, and that one is a swing and a miss. So Connor Woods strikes out the side. A couple incidences in between, but the most important thing is he puts up a 0, top of the 7th. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs on top by 10. Live from Early Wilson. The 7th, Rebels trail by 10. And Kevin Larson still in the ball game And Vince Taramina, the third and last catcher, but he is in batting for the DH, and he'll hit that one on a line, but right into Atino's glove at second base for the first out of the inning. So both teams going to the bench for different reasons. One up by 10, the Bulldogs, one down by 10. And that'll bring up a Darian Williams, who is 1 for 3 on the day, batting .341, and he'll take the first one outside. There's so many ways to be satisfied at the Orleans Hotel and Casino. Experience Bailiwick, All-American Pub and Eatery, food and fun. It's what we do. Savor the latest and greatest variety of flavors at the Orleans. That one fouled off. 1-1 the count. Well, Josh, I thank you for coming in all these games, radio games. It's been I can honestly say that one bounced up there. We were talking about it yesterday or I was, because I do usually the video ones all by myself. But this has been the coldest weather of any baseball. I mean, remember some of those early games? I mean, the February, March you experience. I mean, but super cold, super windy. And now here we are. This one will be chopped out to the shortstop. Tino now who's moved over there, throws over, and that's the second out of the inning. But here we are in mid-May, May 17th. There are people wearing jackets out there.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that?
I saw the wind blowing this morning. I was looking outside like, did it get cold? Do I
Yeah.
have a sweater? What's going on here?
I was wearing my shorts, went for a walk,
Max Smith.
and I was like, do I need to go get a sweatshirt? So Max Smith steps in. He is 0 for 2 on the day. He did walk back in the 6th. Yeah, they are moving people around. So now Pena over at third for the Bulldogs.
This is going to sound weird. This is a very small strike zone, and I would love to pitch to it.
Now, why is that?
I just feel like I can manipulate the strike zone a lot more being this small. Because once, when you have good control, I can go to it early and establish to the hitters that I'm going to throw strikes. I can get that first pitch and go 0-1 to majority hitters. As soon as they recognize it, maybe halfway through or through the first time through the lineup, then I can leave it all day and they're going to chase a lot of pitches. I'm only going to leave it by a couple inches.
Smith will ground that one out to Dempsey, and that is a quick inning of work for Kevin Larson. We will go to the top of the 8th. 13 for the Bulldogs, 3 for the Rebels. Live from Early Wilson. Yeah, and then he left and it became a one-hitter.
No runs, no hits, no errors.
So we got Angel, we got Ari, we got Jared, we got... Just getting my thank yous ready. Because there's no post-game show.
Yep, Rosenberg's in it.
Ari, just so you know, there won't be a post-game show, especially down 13-3, and we're kind of getting silly here anyway.
Short and Pahuko at third.
Exactly. Yeah. Roger Dodger.
Your attention, please. Defensive changes for UNLV.
Oh,
Now
who we
playing
got?
third base. Number 45, Duke Mahukoa.
That's smart.
Now playing shortstop.
Trevor Rosenberg.
Yeah, 48.
Now playing shortstop. Number 48, Trevor Rosenberg. Enough changes? A few more we can make.
Just so you know, 9th inning, Dick. I'm going out in right field.
There we go. 10 seconds.
Josh says I got a cannon for my right arm. That was the one thing I used to be able to do good was throw.
Not stretch.
Oh, I was very nimble back then. And we've got some defensive changes here for the Rebels. At short now, Trevor Rosenberg, and at third, Duke Pahukoa. So Stott and Johnson out, and Pahukoa at third, and Trevor Rosenberg there. We also have a new batter for the Bulldogs. Andrew, sorry about that, but there's been so many changes. It's like you have to take a while to look. And he will get that, and right past a diving Williams. for a base hit. He's going to stretch it to 2. Smith, the throw comes in, and that is hustle by Andrews, who, you know what?
He came out of the box, too, knowing that he was going to give that a
Yeah.
shot. He hit it.
That's
a
hustle
ground
and
ball
freshman.
Through the infield. It's not getting to the wall. We know that. It's going to be caught by the outfielder, cut off at least. And he came out of the box thinking double. I mean, that's hustle. Like,
Right fielder.
a lot of plays happen out of the
Simeon.
box. You don't get halfway and then turn it on. You turn it on from the gate, and then if you have to back off out of it, you do. He smelled that as soon as he hit it. That's kind of crazy. He knows his own speed, obviously.
And why not? I mean, this is his first at-bat of the whole series. You want to make an impression. And Timian steps in, swing and a miss. So Woods still out there dealing. He pitched a scoreless 7th inning. And you would think Connor Woods, maybe the rest of the game is his, if at all possible. And the 0-1, and that one hammered down, and that will be a base hit to left field. Sharman, the new left fielder, he was in last inning, but that's his first play in left field. And there are runners at the corners now with no outs.
This is turning into a long one.
Yeah, this was going along at a fast clip. Even with all the scoring the Bulldogs were doing, the pitchers were, zipping the ball in there. Now, a little bit slower now. And I guess it always seems slower when we are broadcasters for the Rebels, and they are down by 10. That tends to make it go a little bit slower.
Connor Wood's whip on the season is 2. Let me explain that real quick. Whip, walk, hits per inning pitched. So how many walks or hits, how many base runners in essence you're giving up every inning.
So,
His whip is 2.
so he's already hit his whip this inning.
Every inning he's giving up 2 batters. That's not good.
Do you remember what your whip was?
When I was in the major leagues, whip wasn't a stat.
Yeah, that is, and now it's a fantasy baseball stat. Like in both my fantasy leagues. Yeah, it really is. Now that's a swinging strike out.
Yeah, holds for relievers, great, because
I agree.
relievers, you don't get nothing. You don't get saves, you don't get starts, you don't get.
Jameson.
And then whip, I thought, was a really, really good stat. There's a couple good ones that they added over time. So then they went back and used your stats, and you can go back and see what my whip is. I don't know what it is, but we didn't actually have it when I played.
That one in for a strike as Jameson is in with 1 out, runners on the corners. I was seeing if you were a huge Family Guy fan, because do you watch Family Guy? Yeah, you got whip. What are you saying? Whip.
Why do you emphasize the W?
Whip.
What?
And that one gets by Mullis. That will be a wild pitch, and that will score Andrews from third, and Timian moves over to second. So that is the 14th run of the night for Fresno State.
So I don't believe in running after games, like punishment run. It's not. I understand it's a high school thing. I get it's a college thing. It's an amateur thing. I understand that. And maybe I spent so much time in professional baseball. There's a lot of things you don't do. You play every day, so you can't punish somebody all the time. You're going to burn them out, and you're not going to be able to finish the season. The catcher jogged to that ball, if not walked to it. The pitcher never even got to home. So even if the catcher turned around and throw the ball home to get the runner out, the pitcher wasn't there. I understand that you're taking a pounding right now, but you got to take it with pride. Like, if you're winning, you're going to have a smile on your face, and you're probably goofing around on the dugout. You know what I'm saying? You're doing some joking around. Like, you got to be equal. You got to...
Well, as you said, effort. You have to do effort, and especially, it's not as long of a season as it is in the MLB, and that's the thing. So the count now full to Jameson.
We're not going to punishment run with how big the game is tomorrow, the importance of that game. I understand that. I'm going to have a positive conversation and a positive talk in our meeting afterwards.
And that one high, and that will be a walk, so it'll be 2 on. And one more time, it's 14-3, but in the hit column, which I know isn't, anything, it's 15-10.
Correct.
I mean, it's not that lopsided.
Left fielder.
Both teams have done, some sketchy defense.
Chastain.
Yep.
So Chastain now steps in. He's now, where Ashford was originally in the number 1 slot.
Woods he's kind of just, he's not pitching anymore. He's kind of just throwing.
That one will be fouled off.
Getting the ball and going, and we know they're not going to steal this situation, obviously, so he's not worried about that. So there's a couple things that he's, not really concerned about when it comes to what he's doing. But he still has a lot to learn as well. These are young men, right? You got to take advantage of this, right? You're in a game. this lopsided, you're still in a game. Like, you still are pitching. Like, you still have something to learn. You still can show me something positive that might cause me to want to pitch you tomorrow. If we do make the postseason, we have a lot of innings ahead of us, right? You might be a guy. Give me something. And I'm not just picking on him. The whole team is kind of, is you can kind of see through body language, just kind of shut it down. The bench has kind of shut it down a little bit. These are tough games to play. I understand it. But you can't just pack it in, Doug. You can't not ever just pack it in.
And the 1-2 pitch, that'll be fouled off. And one other thing I'll say, you're at home. These are still your home fans, and there's a lot of fans here in the stands at Early Wilson, and, you want to do the effort there too. And the 1-2 pitch, and that one is ground down. Pfeiffer will take it himself. Actually, now we'll flip to Woods at the last minute. And the runners do move over, but that is the second out of the inning. So Timian moves to third. Jamison moves to second. And that'll bring up a let me make sure, because there's been 7,000 changes. Let's wait a second here.
Matt Otino.
So Matt Otino does step in. It is clear the bench night. Now, the strange thing is, we'll let Connor Woods the first pitch, and that one is fouled off. In a non-conference game, this game would be over. They'll say beforehand, like on a Tuesday night, I remember the Rebels were up by, But in a conference game, I don't think they have that option. They play it out.
If I'm the winning team, in this case, if I'm Fresno State, we're not ending this game.
Swing and a miss.
I'm getting my bats.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, especially, look at some of these guys. They have like 20 at-bats for the whole season. They come up and get a hit.
So having good days, too. If I got a few hits going on, a couple RBIs, I'm staying in.
0-2. Woods sets and delivers, and that one fouled off. Otino is basically swinging at everything, by the way. That was up around his shoulders.
That ball wasn't
So he's not getting cheated. And who can blame him? It's 14-3, I guess.
He looked down at third base coach, and he just gave him the, hey, we're swinging at everything. I've been in those games in the minor leagues, right? Once again, you talked about it. You can't swing at that one. I almost hit him over the head. There's situations in the minor leagues where you're swinging at everything. It's travel day. There's certain things going on. Both teams are under. It could be the last day of the season or something like that. Listen, we're swinging at everything. If you don't swing, you're fined.
That one fell off. That's pretty funny.
Some of the stuff that you have to do.
Well, he's got 4 RBI, and he sees two players out there. He's saying,
listen,
hold
I'm
up.
trying to get this hit. I want
RBIs. I'm not walking. You're not walking me. He has 17 at-bats. Otino, the 1-2, and he lays off a pitch that was really not too far. No, that looked like a strike, I thought. So now the count goes to 2-2. Mullis is now the catcher. If I'm Mullis, put it up around his shoulders. He's swinging at everything high. And he takes that one. He goes there, and he'll pick up an RBI. Max Smith, there's running, and he will pick up 2 RBIs. So Tino gets RBI number 5 and 6, and Fresno gets run number 15 and 16 as he goes the opposite way and gets a single and 2 RBI. 16 runs, 16 hits, 1 error, and that'll do it. I think we'll get a pitching change. I haven't seen the official yet. Yeah, I do. I never saw Coach Stoll. Yeah, there you go. So we'll step away for a minute here, and we'll let you know the new Rebel pitcher here right now, 16-3, live from Early Wilson. Isaiah Montoya will be the new pitcher for the Rebels. He comes in with a 7.94 ERA, and as Josh explained about whip, he's got a 2.80 whip.
Pena.
All right, the score is 16-3. Give us a break here. 16-3, Fresno State on top of the Rebels.
Does he really have a 2-point? He does.
And this one shot right up the middle, one pitch, and that's a single for Pena. The senior came in 9 at-bats, the senior. And Eddie Pena decides, you know what, I have one hit all year. Like I said, man, well, you're going up there swinging. And he gets a single, so, you know, good for the senior third baseman, Eddie Pena.
Yeah. I mean,
Second baseman, Nolan
you didn't get too many
Dempsey.
at-bats. You're not going to go up there to walk. Get your hacks, man. You got to go pitch to hit.
Yeah. And this one chopped down foul. Now, hold on, because this is number 14. So,
Check that. The first baseman, McCarthy Tatum.
yeah, that's still Tatum. So he's the one starter. No, 2 starters left in. So Tatum is still in the game. So he's 2 for 3. And he'll swing, and that'll be 0-2 with 2 outs. Now, if you're a starter now, are you thinking, hey, why aren't I on the bench celebrating? Or are you like, hey,
Well, there's only so many players, right?
well, that's a good point. That is a good point.
He's got a couple hits. He's all right.
And that one bounces up there.
What's he? 2 for 3. Hit by a pitch. Walk. Couple RBIs.
Yeah, batting 361.
Batted 361. I'm not coming out of this game. And he is a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me. He wants all the at bats he can get this close to June. Ever since they changed the rules in the draft with the slot money and all that stuff, like there's so many more seniors get drafted these days.
Ooh, that one shot foul. Almost gets first base umpire Billy Hayes, but he gets out of the way.
Money, so many more seniors are drafted where they never were before. You know, if I have 1 through 9 pick and I only have like $9 million, if I give $7 million to my first round pick, I get $2 million for 8 guys. Eventually, I'm going to have to pick somebody that has no bargaining power. Well, that's where a senior comes into play.
Right.
So you're these guys like this.
That one fell off.
I'm taking advantage of all these at bats, everything I can do to get possibly drafted. I just want an opportunity. I mean, look at Patrick Armstrong on first base. He found an opportunity with the Angels in a very similar situation.
Well, and it should be noted, if you're new to college baseball, we know not everybody listens or follows college baseball. You can go out when you're a junior, and that's what Bryson Stott will do. That's one will be popped up and should end the inning. Rosenberg at short, who's in for Stott. He'll put it away. So we'll continue our discussion in the bottom of the 8th. It's 16-3, Bulldogs over the Rebels, live from Early Wilson. And welcome back. It is the bottom of the 8th, 16-3. The Bulldogs on top of the Rebels. We have a new pitcher for the Bulldogs, number 42, Nick Cardinal. Right-handed pitcher, junior out of Alberta, Canada. There we go. Look at that. So as we were saying just before we left, if you're new to college baseball, if you go to a four-year college, you have to stay your freshman, sophomore, junior year. Then you're eligible for the draft. And that's why you were saying that one, a big swing and a miss by Pfeiffer. That's why you're saying at junior, you've got a little bit more power, right, Josh?
All the leverage,
But
which is crazy.
when you're a senior, all of a sudden teams can be like, oh, you can't go back to college, so what do you want to do?
Waste a crazy high pick on a junior if you don't know he's going to sign, knowing that he can go back, right? So he has leverage to go back to school. Now you got a senior; they have no leverage. They got nowhere to go. So I can take a junior in the 5th round and pay him a few $100,000. I take a senior in the 5th round and pay him $5,000.
Right, because what else? It's all options and things like that. Now it's funny and it's all different because that's the difference between college basketball, or one of the differences between college basketball and college baseball. And that's one of the reasons why big swing and a miss, Pfeiffer strikes out. Why people were like, oh, why didn't Harper come to UNLV and why did he go to CSN where he played? Because when you go to junior college, just 1 year and then he got drafted. Concur. So that's why you see sometimes the bigger player, they'll go into a junior college.
That Bryce situation, so he graduated high school a year early, went to the junior college. The rules on the draft money were changing the next year. So if he would have stayed for his 4 years of high school and then went to junior college,
Mullis chops this one, and he will get a single, even though, wow, I almost called that too quick as Dempsey's showing great range, but he will get a single, and Mullis is on first with one out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Either way, whatever way he did, he in essence graduated a year earlier.
Right.
Fielder.
Eligible for the
Jason
draft a year
Sharman.
earlier than he would have been. The reason he did is because they were changing the rules on the draft. So they went from there's no limit on how much money you can be offered, to there was a limit on how much. So he came out in the draft the last year of there was no limit. He obviously got a phenomenal signing bonus, and then they capped it after that.
Sharman takes this one right up the middle and past the glove of Otino, and that will be the second Rebel hit of the day. So Nick Cardinal, the new pitcher, came in with an ERA of 4.15, and he's given up 2 hits here, and that'll bring up James Gamble, who the last time came up and ripped a
Center fielder, James Gamble.
single, and before that a double, so he's 2 for 3. Kind of a quiet 2 for 3. In fact, kind of a quiet anything for the Rebels now, because when you're down by 13 runs, even though, like I said, there was a point in that first inning and even in the third inning where just another timely hit. That one will go all the way to the backstop, and Mullis will go to third. Sharman will go to second. And I believe that'll be a wild pitch. Yep. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, I'm guessing spelled Jeff? Look at that. Yes, well, that's how I spell it sometimes. So Gamble now with runners at second and third. Remember, Stott is out now, just taken out because of the score, no injury or anything like that. And Rosenberg on deck, that one in for a strike, 1-1 the count.
16 runs, 17 hits, 1 error. 3 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors. There's been a ton of offense in this game. That's a lot of hits.
29 hits.
Yeah.
And that is
Very
a late
lopsided
swing.
given the amount of hits, like you said. Very lopsided score.
Well-
It's. I know we've talked about this multiple, but just going back and playing this game out, watching how the first inning unraveled on the first 4 or 5 pitches was nuts. The second inning with 2 outs, giving up the 2 runs, that's backbreaking right there. That's, like I said, anytime you can get 2-out offense, that's huge.
That one misses. 2-2 the count to Gamble. I said Rosenberg on deck. Yeah, it's those 2 errors, let's be honest, could be a little bit higher. Because there was...
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
in last night's game, even though it was also lopsided, there were some great plays on both sides. This one, and that'll be another hit, so a 3 for 4 day, and Gamble will pick up an RBI as Mullis will come home. Sharman goes to third, and I'll tell you what, you talk about hustle. Gamble hustled there, and it'll be...
That, though.
I question, but still, you know what? I'd rather question on a hustle.
Well, listen, here's the deal.
So he's on second now with the single.
3.
Well, now it's 16-4.
The
Okay, so it
shortstop,
was 16-3. Drives in a
Trevor
run.
Rosenberg.
They didn't steal when they could have. They didn't do anything they could have done when the Rebels had packed it in. The Rebels' defense was kind of unfolding. The game was getting out of hand. Fresno State hadn't done anything disrespectful at this point. They just took advantage of what was given to them. That's not one of the plays where you stretch a single into a double, given how
Rosenberg fouls the first one off, 0-1.
what Fresno State's done in the class act way. You don't, in my opinion, you don't do that right there. They didn't do anything. With how the Rebels have played this game, now all of a sudden you're going to turn it up and try to stretch a single and do a double. I don't know. I have a problem.
Well, the only thing is the ball got away from the Rebels a few times. They did run. They were bunting when they were up by 8, 9. So I don't know. I think the hustle was good. That's just me. A big swing and a miss. 0-2 to Rosenberg. I don't think I see what you're saying. Back in the fifth inning, they didn't. It wasn't a successful bunt, but he did. It was Binns, I believe, bunted, and they were up. Let's see, back in the fifth, it was 3. Well, I guess the game wasn't so out of hand. I don't know. I appreciate the effort. Now that'll be a called third strike on Rosenberg for the second out of the inning.
That's my other thing. That was a really good pitch, but you got second and third in less than 2 outs.
Swing.
Situational baseball, yeah, swing. We see these struggles in the major leagues a lot. That's my biggest pet peeve of Major League Baseball. Is runners on third base less than 2 outs. I just showed you what Solari for the Royals when he struck out, and Gordon was on third with less than 2. There's way too many strikeouts in that situation, and I just wonder, there's something about that situation where you see 2 stakes out there. Do you not have a game plan? Do you not know, what are you looking for? I wonder.
Paukoa takes the first one for a strike. This is his first at-bat of the game.
I wonder the mental approach, because that's the one particular situation where I see the most struggles from hitters at most levels.
Yeah. Well, that's not just college. It's not just AAA. It's all over the place. 0-1. That one way outside. 1-1 the count. We talked about it a little off air, but tomorrow's last Rebels game. But, boy, if you haven't been out to the new Las Vegas ballpark where the Aviators play, it is, I'll tell you what, it lived up to every expectation for a AAA baseball.
Atlanta had to. I talked to Dick Calvert over here.
That one will be a wild pitch. I think they say that he swung at it, but Sharman will score. Gamble moves up to third and is now 16-5.
The Aviators have sold out all but 3 games this year. They lead obviously AAA in attendance. So, kudos to Vegas for showing up. The stadium, like you said, I heard is just fantastic. I haven't been out there yet. The options to eat, drink at the stadium, outside the stadium. It's next to the hockey facility, the practice facility. It's in a great area, and like I said, the Vegas community has showed up and really supported.
The 1-2, and that one will be a swing and a miss. Yeah, Oakland A's now the affiliate, and that'll do it. We'll go to the top of the ninth, 16-5. Rebels trail by 11, live from Early Wilson. Isaiah Montoya still in for the Rebels. He'll pitch the first one outside to Nolan Dempsey. Nolan 1 for 5 on the day, batting .351. That one hit that he had was a double and an RBI. And the 1-0, and that one will be fouled off. So the count goes to 1-1. But as we were talking, it's great for Don Logan, Chuck Johnson, Jim Gemma, and Russ Langer does a great job with the Aviators calls. I know they're on right now, probably opposite us. They're on the road. But it's really a great facility out there. That one hammered down. What a play by Duke Pahukoa, diving towards the line, taking away extra bases from Dempsey.
Could have been, what, 2 or 3 feet off the air? That ball was
No,
smoked.
that thing was hammered. So good play by Duke Pahukoa over at third for the first out of the 9th inning.
E.J. Andrews.
So E.J. Andrews now the DH. He's 1 for 1.
That's what we were talking about with Williams at second, and he's playing third in high school, right? So now he's learning a new position. That's what he's used to. That's how quick he's used to reacting, and now he gets an extra 12-ish feet back. That's an eternity. These guys, so they have so much more time. So he's used to boom reacting, and now he's got to learn to read these plays at a much slower pace. To him, it takes a lot of time.
And it's so different. Not that, I mean, you played in the major leagues. I've played for a long time, but not quite as high as you. But it's funny. I always played third or first, and to me, the reaction plays, you're just doing it. And a couple times, they put me out in right field. Oh, man, a pop fly, I was just like, oh, this is way too much time to mess this thing up.
Yeah, no,
It's and you're on an island.
Anytime that I can, play, even when we're playing softball and stuff, they would always ask me, what do you want to play? I'm like, I want to play third. And they're like, third? Nobody wants to play third. Let's dudes hit hard. He hit shots, and I was like, well, but that's what I like. That's what I'm used to. I just want to react. I don't want to be able to think.
Right.
I might be in trouble.
Ooh, I'm not sure where that one missed. The count now 1-2 to Andrews.
We haven't said that tonight. If he hits it, it's going to right field. You can tell by the way he sets up. Look how far back his elbow is, the way he twists.
That one way inside, so 2-2 the count.
He loads his elbows. Right elbow's going to go back towards his back, which is going to bring as if maybe the second baseman's pitching to him. So you'll see a lot of balls by him, I would imagine, going to right field or to the right side. Unless he rolls over something off speed.
And the 2-2, and he'll shoot this one, fouled off to the right side. It was so funny. I remember, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, and I forget the team the Rebels were playing. It might have been even a couple years ago. Maybe it was the Nebraska game or something. You're going, that pitcher is tipping his pitches. And then we were going, oh my gosh, though, they should do really well. And I remember you saying that Johan Santana from the Twins, when he was just lights out, and you said he was tipping his pitches, but it didn't matter because his stuff was so good, and that's a swinging strike for the second out. But it throws me. But
Right fielder.
We had lit him up with him tipping, but he had also
Nate
shoved it
Timian.
with him tipping as well. He was nasty, man.
yeah, that guy was built. I talk about, hey, because I hate the DH, and I love the National League way better. But some of these pitchers, the last couple of days have been raking. There's been some 2 for 3s,
There's some good ones out there. Well, there's so much interleague these days.
this one fouled off to the right side as Timian steps in.
There's so much interleague baseball these days that guys are losing innings because they can't handle the stick anymore. So with all the interleague, if you're not working on hitting as a baseball player, as a major league pitcher, then you're falling behind the curve a little bit. You're going to find yourself only going 5 innings.
Yeah.
And going 7 anymore. Who wants to do that?
Big swing and a miss, 0-2.
But there's a couple that can handle the stick really, really well. Zach Greinke's one. Dave Risky, who lives here in town, played obviously in the big leagues for a lot of years. Risky was a teammate of Zach's. I remember Dave always telling me that he felt that Zach Greinke was the best athlete in Major League Baseball. Combined, not the best pitcher.
That one fouled off to the right. But to me, and I know it seems like in the minority now of baseball fans, a perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by the pitcher, or I'll just stay with that. To me, is as exciting as a home run. Now I know that sounds crazy, but to me, I just love to see a pitcher, do his job at the plate and move a runner over. And to me, that's as thrilling as any play in baseball.
Yeah, I love all of it, obviously. There's so many different ways to be successful. There's not one way to play the game. There's not one way to do things, obviously. And I love it too. Like when, the fundamentals, how to get into the right position and how to set your bat.
That one is a called third strike, so that will do it. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, 16-5. Rebels trail the Bulldogs. Live from Early Wilson. And we're in the bottom of the ninth, 16-5 the score. Rebels trail, so 11-run.
Number 55, Robbie Peters.
And Robbie Peters, number 55, the brand new
Designated hitter, Vince
pitcher,
Terramina.
left-handed pitcher, and it'll be Vince Terramina, the right-handed batter. He's the DH now. I'm sure he'll maybe Godman will come back, but he'll probably catch tomorrow. And the first pitch. Boy, they've got some tall pitchers on their team. Let me see how tall this Peters is. He's 6'6", so they've got 6'9", 6'6", so they're recruiting some tall people there. And this one will be dribbled foul. Before we get out of here, it's the last radio game of the year. I want to make sure and thank Angus back in the booth. Jared beforehand, he was running that. We had a switch there, and thanks to both of them. Also to Ari. I think he's doing something back there too, helping out Angus probably. Angel out here. I want to give a big shout out to Chris Hernandez, who has engineered many, and he was unable to do tonight. But Chris, if you're listening, we appreciate you. And of course, everybody here at UNLV. And Josh, I want to thank you for coming on out. I learned so much baseball from you, so I appreciate that. And we'll have to sometime in the off season. Thank you very much. Josh just signed a baseball for me. My kid's girlfriend is a huge Baltimore Orioles fan. And like I said, she's only 17, so she has no idea. But, I mean, she's a real fan. She knows, and she just
She sounds like my son. He knows everything about that team.
I'd say she lives and dies with the Birds, but let's be honest. Right now it's just a lot of dying. So Terramina fouls that one off. The count goes full. Now, tomorrow, 105 Senior Day. They always do a great job here at UNLV. So if you're coming to the game, come a little bit early. I believe my count, 7 seniors will be honored tomorrow. And just a really good time. And the game could mean a lot. So if you're a Rebel fan, you'll want to follow that. Terramina now drives that one out to right field. And Kenyon gets it for the first out. But
I didn't see that ball very well.
11 o'clock is when that game starts up in Air Force. So if San Jose loses, the Rebels are in. It really is. And
Big morning, man. You're right.
they need to, but they'd rather.
1-1. They're at 11.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to be out here well
Batting
before
for
that,
Williams,
stretching,
number
hitting,
3,
whatever we got to
Chase.
do.
The senior day. Senior
It's
days.
a long day, right?
Right.
So somebody's going to have the phone in their pocket. I know that.
It'll be Chase Maddox scheduled on the mound. So Maddox, who really had some good starts here, especially in Mountain West play. Chase Hansen coming in. Now, every time I see Chase Hansen, he's batting 186, but when I see him, I swear he's hitting a home run or a double. He's come in a few times. So I want to thank Jeff Seals for all the great work that he does and all the help he's helped me with out throughout this year. So thank you, Jeff.
What do you mean? All Jeff does is yell at us.
Yeah, but he yells that in a caring way.
Oh, that's, yeah.
And, of course, legendary Dick Calvert here in the booth. Always great hanging out and hearing him.
I agree with that.
And the 2-0 to Chase. And that one down to first. I thought it was going to take a little tricky hop. Tatum goes over to Peters for the second out.
For pitchers. You know, it's crazy.
Especially tall pitchers.
Well, as much as we run, you would think that we'd be good at it, but we still bounce a lot with
Yeah.
our guys. So what happens is we get over to first base. Anytime the first baseman has to go to his right or the second baseman fields it and they got to throw that ball overhand,
Right fielder.
they're trying
Max
to put it like a
Smith.
wide receiver on the money, quarterback to a wide receiver. It becomes very difficult because the ball's bouncing to us. Like I said, we're not good at having our eyes float.
Smith steps in. He'll take the first one low for a ball. 1-0 the count.
It looks routine, but it's not really that routine. We really like the ones that can be thrown to us underhand.
We were talking about it earlier, but that's the thing about outfield, and it must be the way when I run in the outfield, I would bounce and I would just lose the ball.
They get so good at it, they don't though. Like I used to talk to Vernon Wells and guys like that. They're like, if you ever watch the track guys, the wide receivers, these guys in the outfield, watch Kevin Pillar and these guys, their body's moving, their head's not moving at all.
It's amazing.
I mean, it looks like it's floating, and they're running top speed. It's pretty impressive. So they learn to do that. If they were to run and that ball's bouncing, they're in trouble. They're
Right.
not making any plays.
2-1 to Max Smith. Max is 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the day. Nothing else. His batting average now is dipped below 300. It is at 298. That one fouled off. 2-2 the count. There will be a video stream tomorrow. And will that video stream, Jeff, be up for senior, the stuff beforehand? Probably, yeah. So, sure, why not? So, if you can't make it out, but if you can, Early Wilson, make it out.
It's a cool day tomorrow. It really is.
They do a great job. And the 2-2, and that will be a called third strike. So, the Fresno State Bulldogs come in here and manhandle so far the Rebels 16-5 tonight's game. Tomorrow, it could mean everything. Will the Rebels qualify for the postseason Mountain West tournament? We'll find out tomorrow. Some of the answer may happen earlier in the day, but you want to see the Rebels do it. Josh, thank you very much for everything. And you can listen to Josh tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. on VSiN. And if are you on Nesson even on the weekends?
VSiN tomorrow,
Okay.
7 XM 204,
For the Rebels,
and then
5
Tuesday
runs on
nights,
13 hits,
MLB
making
Network
2 errors
Radio,
in the
XM
ball game,
89,
left 9
from
runners
9 to
on
midnight
base.
West Coast time, going over the day in
The
sports,
winning
going over the day
pitcher,
in baseball.
Davis
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again to Angel and Angus back in the booth, and Angel here until next year, unless you listen to the video stream tomorrow. Bye-bye.